was a game, but then he grabbed the mic on the floor, and Wall Street shut the hell up.
Rick. He called a shot and a tick, make the market do a flip. Rick. He got the floor in a grip, tell the Fed suck a dick. Rick. No script, just spit, every bomb boy dip. Rick. The realest one left, that's it. Yo, Santelli stepping in, floor flashing like a riot scene. T-bills in the air, screaming freedom like it's 1917. Spitting tickets like a preacher in a pulpit of greed, while Powell printing trillions like the market don't bleed. Got that trench coat swag like Capone with a mic on. He don't need a desk, CNBC is Python. Snakes in the grass, he hedge them with a tight bond. Spitting facts raw than the coke that the white's on. Rick got the street smarts mixed with market math. Taught boys a charge while he laugh in a bubble bath. His ticker talk tick like a Glock in the glass. Man, he ETF the nation with a verbal bypass. Rick. Said inflation's a trick, now the market looking sick. Rick. His voice make him trip, bonds curl up and dip. Rick. They fear the floor king quick, he don't blink, he don't flinch. Rick. Ain't no coddled analyst, he that brick by brick. Santelli speak like the ghost of the Dow. Back when coke deals got you equity now. Shirt cuff tied loose, spit truth with a scowl. A voice so sharp it cut debt from a vow. Options in his pocket like coins in a pre-straight. Talking yield curves while your funds get souffle. Fed boys tremble, they stutter when he relay. By the dip, nah son, Rick been prepaying. Bloomberg cute, he that alleyway data. Grew up with the wolves, eating spreads off the beta. Ain't no ETF smoothing out his behavior. He call a crash like a profit, no savior. Cash flow lava, his mind like a black box. Watch NBC live, you might need a Xanax. Rick spit war like a quant with a padlock. Guns go gamma and a mean ass backdrop. He ain't from the suits, he from the truth. Floorboard profit, bond market locksmith. He don't chase yield, yield chases him. Rick ain't worried about the next run, he built it. Rick. Make your algos glitch with a truth so rich. Rick. He don't flinch, don't switch, just spit and pitch. Rick. The voice of the pit, every tick got grit. Rick. The street crown king, that's it.
Wall Street warrior. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where we have a magical, mystical Payday Friday. Folks, not only is it a good old TGIF, but folks, it's a Payday Friday. It's an unemployment report Friday. It is a Supreme Court giving us a decision on the Trump tariffs being legal or illegal Friday. It's a beautiful Friday. Folks, I'm so excited. And you know what that all means? If we were to kind of boil that all up and distill it all down, it means we're going to get to listen to our boy Rick Santelli on CNBC this morning. I'm so excited. He should be ripping it in a mere 5-ish minutes. At 8:30 a.m., we get non-farm payrolls, unemployment report. We get the average hourly earnings, personal income, personal spending. Excuse me. Lots of major macroeconomic reports that are going to have a big impact on the upcoming FOMC meeting, which I want to say is January 28th, the final Wednesday of January. So yes, we're expecting some movement there. Just so you know, going into this, there's about an 88% chance, maybe all the way up to a 94% chance that there's no rate cut whatsoever. So I just want to put out where the odds are going into this event. But yes, at 8:30 this morning, we're getting a huge report. And it's kind of an interesting timing, being we are literally at an all-time high or knocking on the door of a fresh all-time high. So that's interesting. But where it might get even more chaotic, a little bit more insane, is at 10 a.m. today, we're going to be getting some form of an update through the Supreme Court. Just so you guys know, the Supreme Court beforehand doesn't really release to the public what opinions they're going to be sharing for that particular batch. So today we might be hearing about Trump's tariffs, as in, are they illegal, are they legal, based on the powers that he used to kind of like enact them. So we might be finding those out today, but also we might not. So right now, we just know that there's two things we really need to be paying attention to. 8:30 this morning and 10 a.m. Then after that, ideally, we made all the right decisions. We made a bunch of money, and then we're going to be celebrating Payday Friday. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. It is free for everyone to enter. All you have to do is like and retweet, and you're going to have your shot at some cold hard cash and also a prop account. We have 5 option prop accounts. We have 5 futures prop accounts. So this is just something we commonly run, and obviously, best of luck to all of you. Once again, it is free to enter. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Just make sure you end up doing all the proper things, which is literally just hitting the like button and hitting the retweet button before the market opens. So without further ado, let me get you guys a little bit ready. So stock futures are a little change ahead of the jobs report and the potential tariff ruling. So once again, it's potential because we don't know if the Supreme Court is actually going to say this at 10 a.m. We know they're doing something at 10 a.m. We know they're giving us some opinions at 10 a.m., but it's unknown if it's going to relate to the whole Trump tariff type of situation. So we got to be mindful of that. But before that, we definitely know that at 8:30 this morning, we are getting the unemployment rate, non-farm payrolls, and average hourly earnings, among other data measures. Just, unemployment rate right now, the line in the sand, what Wall Street is expecting is 4.5%. Non-farm payrolls, they're looking at 66K. So those are the lines in the sand, and obviously we are going to be finding out very, very shortly. These types of events, these high vol events, are great opportunities, in my humble opinion, to pass those SIM-to-funded futures accounts if you're a person who knows how to do that strategy of going long, going short in different accounts, quickly getting it above the profit target on one account, blowing out the other one, but whatever. Congratulations, you now went from eval to funded. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have an entire video on it. It's on Rumble, it's on YouTube, it's on the backup YouTube channel, the Velvet channel, where it's basically a 50-50 thing. Some are long, some are short. You can't do that with funded accounts. You're going to get all your payouts denied, but you can do it to pass in eval. So these types of opportunities are good opportunities to do it. So obviously, after this, I'm expecting a little bit of chaos. Let me already switch up the screen right here. I'm expecting some chaos in the market without a doubt, so we're going to be paying attention to that. You know what? We might as well, just so you know, 2 days ago, Wednesday, January the 7th, we did hit an all-time high of 6965. If you look at the SPY, that is the equivalent level of, let me get a price label, 69396. So almost 694. Let me just change up this color. We'll make it bright and green. We're going to set an alert because I want to know if we are breaking that early this morning. We are not far away. So right here on the screen, going into the 30-minute chart, we are truly, like, this event itself could get us above it or at least very close to it. Or of course, this could be the high water mark and we dump from here. It's a binary event. We're flipping a very expensive quarter. We are about to find out. So as we are getting ready for this, please let me know. You have 30 seconds left. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Once again, the lines in the sand are 4.5% and 66,000. Please comment in chat. I want to know how lucky you guys are today. I want to know where your prediction skill is at today. Are you lucky? Are you unlucky? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Or are you just scared? Let me know. We're going to go to the 15-second chart. We're going to get the volume going. Let's get this all rocking today. We don't want to miss a second of our boy Rick. We don't want to miss one freaking second. All right, they are on break. There we go. It popped. Not a new all-time high, but got very, very close. They are not speaking yet. The volume is on. Oh, they're coming back right now. But look at that pop already. Look at ES. ES popping from 75 all the way up to 86. Bulls are in control.
For a wordy warm-up.
Here's our boy Rick. Rick's in chat.
Close attention to the 420 level in 10s, very significant technically. And of course, this is the D's jobs report hitting the wires. Non-farm payrolls expanded a bit less than expectations. 50,000.
Bulls in control.
In rear view mirror, the 64,000 now gets downgraded a bit to 56,000. 50,000 would be the weakest since we had a negative number, and that was in October.
Quickly giving some of it back, but holding green thus far.
Now, let's look at average hourly earnings month over month. up 0.3% as expected, and that really does chase around the previous month where it was way too low. There were issues there, up 0.1, and that was the smallest wages gain
Dow
since
popping
March
on
of
this.
21. So this gets us back on track. The same is true for year-over-year earnings. 3.5 last month seemed too low. It's now 3.8. That's actually 0.2 better than expected. It equals where we were in August. To
Even
find
the
a higher
Russell
number,
popped there,
you're in
so
July of
everything
25,
popped, giving a
when it was
little bit back right now. The
3.9.
SPY
Now,
above
hours
yesterday's
worked, we
high,
wanna pay
the
close
Q's
attention
almost
to
there,
this,
the
because
Russell
if it
looking
goes
good,
up or down,
Bitcoin
it really
seemingly
does have employment,
unmoved.
issues 34.2.
Gold
so we
going
lost
up,
the 10th, both
silver
with
going
regard
up,
to expectations and in the
oil
rearview mirror.
flat,
34.2.
bonds
well, we had a lot of
slightly up.
those this year, but to keep in mind, to find a smaller number, you're going back to the
Silver
very
is
first
just
month of
ripping,
25
folks.
when it was 34.1. Now let's look at the unemployment rate. 4.4. 4.4.
Lower than
We're
expected.
expecting it to go down
Right
from
here.
4.6
They expected
to 4.5.
4.5.
So it comes in less than expectations. And last month's 4.6, that in my opinion was the reason we had some of the big market moves, was downgraded to 4.5. So it's now off the charts. And if we look at the labor force participation rate, and we really want that to expand a bit, it didn't. But it came
look
in
at this
as
guy.
expected at
Just
62.4.
what a modern-day sex icon,
Our last look was
honestly.
a bit better at 62.5. And finally, the underemployment rate, known as U6, comes in at 8.4. That's really good news because it also had an anomalous read last month all the way up at 8.7.
So what does this really mean? It means we're not getting a rate cut in January.
Would be the lowest read since
No
we
rate
get
cut in
back on
January.
track.
The job market
September of
isn't
last year
weak
was
enough.
8.0. We started last year at 7.5 to give you an idea of, yes, it's good news it's coming down, but it definitely popped a bit. After all of that, what are we seeing in the marketplace? Well, here we hover
Slightly
right now
green.
at
We're holding green.
417, which is unchanged on the day and down 2 on the week. But we did test that level at 420, and it came back off.
420,
That's the level to pay
Rick.
attention to.
Brother.
To me, the big meat on this report is
Pop,
the lower
pop,
employment
pop.
rate. And I think, of course, that may make the Fed's notion of all its anecdotal evidence of a weakening labor market a little bit less potent.
Yeah,
Joe,
we're not
back
getting
to
a
you.
rate cut now in January.
that's what I
We
was
already
gonna
most likely
ask you,
weren't,
where the
but
real,
right here, 88% chance
you know,
we
we
stay
wanna,
the same.
We don't want to sell the steak. We want to sell the sizzle, and that's it. I guess, Rick, we've been waiting. You know, we missed these numbers. We need them. We need them now that we got
Right there,
them. It doesn't seem like we know that
97%
much,
chance we
but
do
that's
not
the
get a
one
rate
thing you would
cut
take
in
away from it.
January. 97,
That's
according
the
to
one
we're
thing
not
I would
getting a
take
rate
away
cut.
from it outside of the anomalous readings on wages that we had our last look that came back to a reality on
Dude,
this
look
report.
at this guy. Look
Let's
at
bring
this
in
guy.
our jobs panel to react to the numbers.
All right,
Natasha
who are they
Stern,
bringing
a
on
professor
today?
at Yale Law School, president of the Budget Lab, and former Treasury official under President Biden. Peter Earle is the director of economics and senior research fellow at the American Institute for Economic Research. Sarah Malik is chief investment officer of Nuveen. And Sarah, I guess I'll just start with you. We'll get into the
climbing
weeds
back
on the
up.
numbers
Look
in
at
a
that.
second. But as someone who needs to decide what to do with clients' money, this looks okay, doesn't it? Is there anything that you saw
25-point pop there.
disturbs you or would cause you to hesitate about deploying money?
That was a nice long there at 834.
I'm
Did
not
anyone go
surprised to see
long into this
markets not
dip
reacting
in
much
chat?
to this number.
Did anyone wait for the
Expectations were
pop,
for a
the
slight
reversal,
beat to
and then the
payrolls
pop right
with
here? Did
consensus
anyone
at
go long here?
65,000. So
I'm
the
very,
number
very
was a slight
curious. Tell me
disappointment,
your average
but
fill.
not enough
Or
to
maybe
move
you
the
went short.
Fed, and that's what's
And if
important
you did,
here. I
be
think we
careful.
can still get 2 rate cuts in the back half of this year. Also, this is the second number that is starting to show the true health of the labor market. Remember, September and October's numbers
We are
were very
climbing.
volatile.
We're
We had
actually now
negative
exceeding that high
162,000
we were
government
at.
payrolls drop in the
SPX
October
is at
numbers. So we're finally
6945.
getting
The all-time
clarity,
high
and what
is
we're seeing
65.
is labor markets are just normalizing at a healthy
Jay
rate.
Keith,
And if we
you
can
caught it
continue
long
on this
into the
path,
dip.
and I think that we can because government
Shaky,
payrolls will
shake
have
your
less of
Trump.
an impact on
Jay
the negative
Keith
side
seeking
in
success.
2026.
Congrats.
Then that tells us that the economy is fine. We have fourth quarter
Remember,
earnings
if you
season
did it,
right in front of
hit
us
your stop to
with
break even. Make it a
expectations
freebie
of
play.
8%
Why take it
year-over-year
on
earnings
any
growth.
risk? That's a
That's a sign of a
beautiful
healthy
pop.
market, and I think we can
Bulls
hold our
are
premium,
in
and the markets
control.
can continue to rise up from here as long as earnings are strong and payrolls stay around this 5-digit
Dude,
range.
it's still going. Look at that. That's
So
climbing like no
50,000,
other.
a little bit light, and then a revision on the previous month. But, we got AI. Maybe there's some factors for why that's happening.
Look at that rip.
So that makes you worried
Pop,
a little bit.
pull
Maybe
back,
you're disappointed.
flag breakout.
Suddenly on 4.4.
Rips from
That- you give it
55
then
all
and
the
take
way
it.
up to
That's better.
800.
I think
Beautiful.
what you're seeing is you're definitely seeing
Beautiful.
signs that the labor market is continuing to cool, and that
Beautiful.
is the case with the 50,000 number. And importantly, this is the first number that we've gotten in recent months that isn't contaminated by the government shutdown and its aftermath. So I actually think it's an important read. But what you also know, and we also saw that in the JOLTS
I was
data that we
thinking
saw
about getting a
earlier this
haircut
week,
like that.
is
And actually,
we
I have
are
that same
continuing
top.
to be in
I
this
know you
sort of
guys
like
have seen me in it
low
before.
hire, low fire economy. And even with a relatively low unemployment rate, you aren't seeing hiring in the economy. And I think that has to do with the fact that there's just a lot of uncertainty right now. You're not exactly sure if you're a firm or if you're an employee, whether or not it makes sense to kind of take the leap because you're not sure whether jobs are going to be there to support you over the course of the choices that you might make.
And the Supreme Court might say something like in a couple of hours.
In
I mean, just
90
send it to
minutes,
break
we might
even,
as well
Shaker
see it.
Trump.
Yeah.
Why
Here's
take on
something,
any
I mean,
risk?
it's interesting to think about what the market.
If it
how the
works, it
market
works.
react.
If it
Even
doesn't,
even
whatever.
If the courts
No
strike
sweat
down
off
the
your back.
tariffs in their
I
entirety.
mean, you're already up, what,
still-
35 points,
What
40
happens?
points at
So
one point?
Do you think the market goes crazy? Doesn't go crazy? Do you think that companies all of a sudden are going to change their strategies all again? I'm not so sure.
Or will he find another way to?
Well, he
Importantly,
says he's
yeah.
going to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
importantly, the tariffs that are at stake in this case are about 2/3 of the tariffs that the administration has levied. Just this portion that's these IEEPA tariffs.
Just so you know, at 10 a.m. when we're expecting this Supreme Court, it could impact anywhere from $135 to $150 billion worth of tariffs collected. So it's very much a big deal.
Down at 10 o'clock, that there's a press conference at 11 o'clock from the White House saying, just so you understand, we are now implementing these tariffs this way, this way, this way, and this way.
But I feel like that matters from the perspective of economic uncertainty because the effective tariff rate has changed some 80 times so far in this administration on different days. So what you're going to see is they're
who's
going to
counting?
use this authority for this particular type of tariff to replicate this authority for this tariff. And it's actually not going to be this sort of cohesive, all of a sudden we're back exactly where we were previously in a way that I think is pretty uncertain and kind of tenuous from an economic
Peter,
perspective.
you're so patient, waiting so
Dude,
patiently.
where is the schedule for the day?
Do you want to? You can just give us a 10-point summary of everything everyone said.
Sure. So two things. I mean, I think that the non-farm payrolls number reinforces the story that's been building for months, right?
What's
a labor
his
market,
schedule
a labor
for the
market
day?
that's slowing, but in a pretty deliberate way. Firms are holding on to workers. They're no longer expanding payrolls aggressively. And that combination is, I think, exactly what the Fed wants to see. Fewer openings, restrained hiring, stable employment. About tariffs, what I think is that there's a plan B already in effect. And if the IEEPA, if the IEEPA tariffs get struck down, we'll see a replacement with quotas and all sorts of other means of protectionism which meet the definition, but not the letter, or the spirit, but not the letter of the law. So that's what I think. I think there's a backup plan in place that we'll see put in place, almost immediately.
The P word. People don't usually use the P, but that's what it is. Isn't
Are they
it?
really talking at
simply
11
put,
today?
Protectionism.
I'm just calling it what it is. I mean,
No, I hear you. Rick, are you still with us?
Rick better be.
Absolutely. I'm here. What do you need, Joe?
I just, the Sohn rule or whatever, I just feel better because we're not a half a point above the lows. So we're not headed
you know
to
what?
any.
You read my mind. Yeah, the SOM rule doesn't come into effect now because 4.6 disappeared. So, yes, that's interesting. The other thing, and it's not directly based on this report, I'd like to know what our group thinks about the $200 billion talked about purchase in mortgage securities, because when I heard about that, I monitored the markets, I monitored all the different coupons, and as an ex-trader, what I thought was that just saying that would elicit some buying response from investors. But I haven't seen any. The market's hardly moved at all. I was a bit surprised. I thought maybe the group might want to weigh in on that.
if I can jump in really quick, Rick, I just want to say that these are all demand side issues. None of this is bringing new houses into the market, which is what we need. 50-year mortgages, replaceable mortgages, all these things. None of this brings more houses into the market. And that is the crucial thing right now. I've said my piece.
No, you're absolutely right. But, okay, we can't invent a time machine and build houses any faster, so you're correct. However, it's nice to see this administration trying to throw some spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks. There may be issues here because the road to try to lower mortgage rates via bringing long-term rates down, that road, in my opinion, is closed. So they have to try to find alternatives, and I at least give them credit for trying.
Sure.
I kind of think it does feel like spaghetti against a wall, Rick, in the perspective of who even knows what his plan is, who even knows his representatives are supposed to be sort of spending $200 billion. I'm not really sure what to make of it, but I do think that I can understand why, particularly in an election year, you'd like to see interest rates come down. I just don't particularly think that this is the approach that's going to be all that successful.
Hey, Sarah, while we have you here, we keep talking about it. I'm no longer saying Happy New Year, but we don't have your 2026 like guidance for where you think equities are headed. So the multiple might be rich, but earnings could I don't know what you think. Is it double digits? We heard people say high double digits for earnings growth. If the multiple stays where it is or just contracts a little, doesn't it mean we could have another good year in equities? Or is there something on the horizon that makes you think not?
We always have to worry about the horizon and what may cause volatility. And I think that could be geopolitical issues, which have already been bubbling up earlier this year. But you're right, Joe. Even though markets are at a premium, earnings expectations for the year are coming in at about 15%. Let's give a haircut to that and say earnings grow 10%. That's positive for the markets. Our price target for this year is 7,500 on the S&P 500 because we think earnings can grow in the high single digits to low double digits. We'll see that kicking off with fourth quarter earnings season, basically right now. And what I think will lead will be technology and financial. So financial stocks should have a very strong earnings season. They kick it off, less regulations, a better M&A and capital markets, and also technology stocks where if we like earnings growth of double digits for the S&P 500,
$1.70, $1.70
that, and that's why they should continue to lead. So
away
I don't
from a
think
new
tech is in a bubble. I think tech can continue
right there.
to lead
That's
the
the
markets
all-time
this
high, this green line,
Peter,
and we're making our track up
Director
to
of
it.
Economics, Senior Research Fellow.
NQ.
How much stimulus do we have coming this year from wherever you want to look for, whether it's deregulation or expensing or the big, beautiful bill? Or, I mean, we all miss the days of the pandemic after that. Now, that was stimulus, but maybe that wasn't so great. Right. But don't we have some maybe a better type of stimulus on the way?
I see three major sources of it, right? I mean, the first is, of course, the big, beautiful bill and all those, tax breaks that are coming. The second is there's still some, whatever you think about it, there's still some Biden-era spending going on in the economy, which is, promoting construction, that sort of thing, and semiconductor, fabrication plants, that sort of thing. And the last is, of course, the Fed is accommodating now, and they recently added the balance sheet to that to the mix in what is essentially
might be talking about 26,000
so,
today
that's a lot
on
of
NQ.
Things, pushing. There's a lot of tailwinds to the economy right now, and I think that these forecasts are pretty accurate with respect to earnings and all that.
I mean, Natasha, new highs in most of the markets. That last GDP print and the Atlanta Fed where it is. Should George Clooney be moving to France? I mean, isn't it pretty good here?
Joe, you just said one version of you started saying something about stimulus, and I think it's important to connect it to what Glenn was saying in sort of the last segment. I think the labor market is cooling. And while there isn't evidence yet that we're seeing a ton of displacement coming from AI, if you are going to get the type of productivity gains that many
people
at
are
this
betting
table
on
have talked about from AI
950,
and
7,035.
Labor force displacement,
right now,
and
barring
we are
the
going
Supreme
to need
Court decision,
space in order to be
bulls
able to make
are
the kinds of
very
investments
clearly
in helping
in
workers
control.
retrain and helping to support the job market. And I am just not sure a
very
country that is on a
clearly
debt to
in
GDP
control.
trajectory of over 130 over the course of the next 10 years really has the space that it needs to make those investments.
Right. For the midterms, it's the economy, stupid. What do people feel like right now? Nothing's affordable? Do they not? I remember when the Biden's administration would argue how great things actually were, but real wages were falling. It was really hard to make that case. Aren't things pretty good now, or would you vote
Amazon is
would you vote
a
the bums out?
monster.
I think what's so interesting is that if you look at a lot of economic indicators like unemployment and like GDP, you are seeing a story of an economy that is doing pretty okay. There are real tail risks, there are real concerns, there are
Is it the K
geopolitical
problem?
risks. But people feel, and this was the same thing in the Biden administration, people felt like things weren't working for them. They felt like prices were high. They felt like they remembered prices being lower in the past. They're actually looking not for a decrease in inflation, but actually deflation to bring down some of these prices, which we do not want to see in the economy. So I actually think there's a real question. Affordability is the new buzzword of the day. There's a real question about how we're actually going to be able to make a case to people that this is an economy that is going to work for them. And that is a question that's going to get harder to answer if AI actually does start displacing a lot of these
Texas
jobs
Roadhouse.
and making it harder for people to find ways in the labor market.
Peter, you want to just take a shot at that, or?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And what I've seen happening over the last 2 years is a huge cleft between the soft and the hard data. When
Small
you poll
caps
people,
are
when
popping.
you get surveys and that sort of things,
Oil's looking
everything sounds
good.
terrible. But when you
Silver's
actually look
looking
at
good.
the hard
Commodities
economic
are
data,
crushing it
things are
right
not
now.
as bad as
Very
the soft
much
data would lead
crushing
you
it
to
right
believe.
now.
Rick, are you surprised Warsh is in the lead now on Kalshi?
No.
No
as a
way.
matter of fact,
Really?
Kohrs has been my personal call for who's going to win this. So it doesn't surprise me at all. I think all the people, the last several, are all very good candidates. But yeah, if I had to go to a betting
Warsh
site, and I
is
don't
up?
go to betting
When
sites,
did
I
that?
would do Warsh.
Why would
Whoa.
Trump,
Kevin
end up
Hassett
with that pick
is now in the
against,
silver
with
place,
you've heard all this.
silver medal place.
I called it hand wringing and crying and everything
Wow.
about Fed independence. He's going to put in his own guy. Why would he put in a guy who is such an independent thinker that has argued for higher rates
They've
in
been
the past?
battling it out. Interesting.
He has said he wants to change a lot of things about the Fed, and he's complained about that and how transparent they are.
Look at our boy, Rick.
Every waking thought we hear
Like,
from the
just
Fed. Maybe that's
how can
not
you
so
have a
smart.
bad day if you're hanging out with Rick,
Well, I think the answer to that question has little
What time
to
is
do
the
with
Supreme Court ruling?
output
Potentially
side. I think
10
it's all
a.m.
on the side of the hairs on fire crew. I personally don't believe any of the issues that are coming out about, he's going to stack the Fed, they're going to do his bidding, this is going to ruin the independence of the Fed. These are all very naive notions, and maybe you could throw it out to the general public, and maybe some of them will bite. But in the world of trading, I think investors understand what's going on, that who's ever in the big chair is going to do a job that deals with the issues and the data and the trends and the dynamics of the economy. And President Trump wants lower rates. We all know that. But I really don't think he's going to make a negative impact by any of his actions on a lasting Federal Reserve that's any less, independent. And we could also debate exactly how independent the Fed really is anyway.
And has been. All right. Thank you, Rick Santelli and Natasha.
Thanks
for
you,
coming in and
Rick
actually
Santelli.
agreeing to sit right around the table. That's
Delight.
Some people, I think about that. Peter, thanks. And Sarah, we'll probably see you eventually in studio. Thanks.
We're taking a little bit of a breather, but overall, clearly
Next,
since 8:30,
former
pop,
Fed
drop,
Vice Chair
pop.
Roger Ferguson will join us on what the numbers mean for the Fed's next move on interest
We're not
rates.
getting a rate cut,
Plus,
clearly.
who he thinks may
Very
be the next
evidently.
Fed chair. Squawk Box will be
I
right
can't
back.
believe Warsh is leading right now. I didn't know that Warsh had taken over right here. Kevin Hassett was leading for the longest time. Kevin Hassett is currently the director. He's part of the Trump administration, director of the National Economic Council, I believe, for Trump. He was leading. Like, if we go for the longest time right here, he was the blue line. This was Kevin Hassett. And then I guess something about the new year, Warsh is slowly but surely popping. I guess there must have been some commentary around December 11th or 12th. He got his pop, a little bit of a pullback, but overall, that's a higher low, folks. That is a higher low. You could use technical analysis at any point in your life if you so choose, if you're bold enough. But I guess right now, Kevin Warsh is leading 41% to Kevin Hassett's 37%. And then right near to, I guess, fill out the podium, if you will, is Christopher Waller coming in at 11 or 12%. So I had not realized that, but interesting. Anyway, if you are just joining in right now, things are looking pretty dandy this morning. Stock futures gain on hope of middling job gains will spur Fed to cut rates. Well, no, actually, the jobs report, the unemployment report came in lower than expected, and the chance of a rate cut in January, once again, the next FOMC meeting is late January. It's not happening. We're not getting a rate cut in January. For the calendar year of 2026, We probably will get rate cuts. We'll probably, in fact, get 2 rate cuts, but it'll most likely be in the second half of the year. So if I were you, I would not be holding my breath on rate cuts anytime soon. So we most likely will get 2, but they'll most likely be in the second half of the year. That's what the market is currently looking at. So the big news of this morning thus far is we were looking at unemployment rate. They were expecting 4.5, came in at 4.4. Non-farm payrolls, they were looking at 66, came in at 50. So the fact that the unemployment rate dropped more than expected, especially this is the first major data drop that didn't involve the whole like government shutdown. It's kind of partial numbers, but it's full numbers, and maybe we're skipping this, maybe we're skipping that whole jazz. This is the first quote unquote clean one, and obviously thus far the market is very much liking what it's seeing. The SPY almost back at an all-time high, the Q's back at the high from yesterday. You have the Russell going to a new all-time high. You have silver popping, you have gold popping, Bitcoin not really moving the most, but commodities like actual metals are looking pretty good. Oil, bonds going up. So across the board, the bulls are in control. But basically, I'm trying to say don't take it for granted because we have some other serious things going on today. And it kind of gets rocking right here. Trump tariffs, Trump's duties face potential verdict as U.S. Supreme Court sets Friday for rulings. I actually don't know what they said here. Let's see if this clip is of any actual utility.
Talk to me about tariffs. We know that they impacted everybody from businesses.
Yes, anywhere from 133 billion to 150 billion. That's how much tariff money we are talking about. And we're all going to find out today what in the world's happening with it.
Consumers in 2026. To what extent did they hit small businesses? And then what's the outlook for 2026?
Good morning, Jared. We saw
those are some
respondents to our
classes.
survey
That's a
in
decision.
the fourth quarter of 2025, pointing to tariffs as one of their biggest problems. Businesses also highlighting pressures from inflation in the Comerica.
Quick side point here. Is anyone else's brain getting confused as if this first word is somehow backwards, but then the second word bank is normal? Like at first I looked at it and I was like, oh, the camera is just flipped. So like whatever, it happens. But then bank is completely normal. Did that break anyone else's mind, or am I just solo on this? Is this just like exclusively an old Matt problem? I read this. I was like, oh, it's like kind of backwards here. It's a camera. And then bank is normal. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it very well might just be a me problem. It seems like no one else had their brain broken from that.
A Small Business Pulse survey as one of their biggest challenges.
And I won't bring it up again.
This really is reflecting what we thought we knew about how tariffs were affecting small businesses. Smaller businesses have narrower profit margins. They have less pricing power. And so tariffs are going to be more of a pressure on their operating models and on their profitability than on larger businesses that have more flexibility in how they respond to tariffs.
We were just talking to a previous guest, Henrietta Trey's of Veda Partners. I don't know if you were listening to the discussion, but her thesis is that the Supreme Court could strike down those Trump tariffs from 2025, and that would just give a lot of leeway for consumers, businesses. What do you think about that?
Our view is that if the tariffs are invalidated, I would expect that the administration would probably look for other ways to implement tariffs to maintain a high average tariff rate. As a macroeconomist, the way I view the impact of tariffs is I look at the average tariff rate across all goods and services imported into the United States. You know, it's a sales tax. And so what is the average increase in the sales tax versus prior to the tariffs? And so it's likely that the government has other tools to implement sector or product specific tariffs that would keep the average tariff rate considerably above what it was at the start of 2025. So probably if we saw those tariffs invalidated, we could see some businesses get tariff refunds. That would be a boost to their cash balances going into 2026. But going through the rest of next year, I would expect that the average tariff rate will still remain high. And so imported goods will continue to be subject to tariffs, most likely.
All right.
You don't hate the game. I don't hate the game.
I didn't find that to be the most useful. But anyway, Supreme Court rules in favor of Trump's tariffs. As in, are Trump's tariffs legal? There's only 27% chance of it. That's on Polymarket, and looking at Call Sheet, 29% chance. Will the Supreme Court rule in favor of Trump's tariffs? So once again, the question is, are Trump's tariffs legal? And one place is saying 27% chance, the other place is saying 29% chance, as in not gonna get ruled to be legal. So I guess before we dive into it, and I think this is kind of an interesting, thought exercise that we can do, but before going into it, what's your knee-jerk reaction? Do you think that they should be ruled legal or illegal? And obviously, feel free to give a couple of your thoughts or opinions of why you are coming up with that. Because remember, it's not this concept of tariffs in a vacuum being legal or illegal. Of course, tariffs in general are legal. It has a little bit more to do with how they were specifically enacted. So it's not the concept of tariffs being a legal economic vehicle or illegal economic vehicle. It has very much everything to do with how they were specifically enacted by Trump. That is what's going on. So it's not the concept of tariffs in themselves, just to be clear. Matt, isn't that already baked into the price action? Most likely, to the tune of about 70% is probably baked in by the likelihood of it being legal or illegal. Lethal. All right. So while this was happening, I asked our favorite AI here of why. Why is it likely that Trump's tariffs will be ruled illegal? And I should preface this by saying I'm not a lawyer. I don't know fuck all about the Supreme Court, but it is probably a little bit more useful for us to be informed here. Trump's tariffs, particularly those imposed under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the IEEPA, during his second term, have faced significant legal scrutiny, with multiple lower courts already deeming them unlawful. This includes broad reciprocal tariffs aimed at addressing trade deficits, as well as targeted levies on countries like China, Canada, and Mexico, justified by citing issues such as trade imbalances, fentanyl trafficking, and immigration as national emergencies. Here's why a ruling declaring them illegal appears likely based on ongoing litigation and legal analysis as of the end of January 2026. So it looks like constitutional and statutory limits on presidential power. All right. Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution grants Congress power to impose taxes and tariffs, not the president. So right out of the gate, for all the people who are saying that this should be legal or illegal, the concept of taxes and tariffs, it seems like it's more of a congressional problem rather than a presidential problem. But remember, he pulled this off via the IEEPA, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. While presidents have some delegated authority through trade laws, the IEEPA, enacted in 1977, was intended to limit executive overreach during emergencies, not expand it to include broad tariff imposition. So the problem here isn't necessarily like tariffs being legal or illegal. It's more of, can you use this particular act, which I guess was created in 1977, to actually use tariffs? So I want to be very clear on the legal question here. It is not, can Trump do tariffs or not? Can the U.S. do tariffs or not? The question is this: is it legal for Trump or any sitting president to use the IEEPA to, does that include tariffs? Like, can you use that as your reading for tariffs? The law allows the president to regulate imports or exports in response to unusual and extraordinary threat to national security, foreign policy, or the economy, but it does not explicitly mention tariffs or taxes. So the fact that it doesn't explicitly mention it, that actually might be kind of explaining the 26% chance, the 29% chance that they actually might rule in his favor, because it, once again, getting into the legal world, they like to operate in black and white, not really that gray area. And the fact that it's not mentioned, that's kind of a gray area issue. So that's why it's not a clear-cut thing of which way they're going to rule. Anyway, courts have interpreted regulate narrowly, arguing it doesn't encompass levying new duties, as though that would effectively allow unlimited presidential taxation without congressional approval. So It has to do with the power of the president, and it has to do with the specific act of the IEEPA, which once again was enacted in 1977. It does not explicitly mention tariffs or taxes in this particular act, so that's what we're all waiting to find out. This is what the Supreme Court is going to be releasing their opinion on, most likely at 10 a.m. today. Remember, when it comes to the Supreme Court, they don't release like a schedule or a list of opinions that they're going to release. We just know we're getting opinions from them today, and it's assumed that we are going to be hearing from them and that it'll relate to this tariff situation. But just to be clear, it's not like 100% guaranteed, but basically from an hour from now, it comes out at 10 a.m. Eastern. An hour from this moment, we should be finding something out. Lower court rulings set a strong precedent. Yeah, Supreme Court signals and market expectations, potential outcomes and broader implications. If ruled illegal, the tariffs could be rolled back, dropping average rates from about 16% to 10%, with refunds owed to importers potentially tens of billions, anywhere from 133 to 150 billion. However, the administration could pivot to other tools like Section 122 of the Trade Act, temporarily 50% tariff for 150 days, or existing Section 232-301 authorities to reimpose similar duties, though these are more limited and require investigations or congressional input. Critics argue the tariffs appeal lies partly in the extra legal nature, testing executive boundaries. While some market experts anticipate alternatives if struck down, the weight of legal opinion and judicial trends point toward illegality. As in probably not going to go. But once again, just to clarify, they have other means. It looks like they can very quickly punt it out for half a year if they want. So this particular issue is not, can Trump do tariffs or not? It's the way in which he did it. He might just have to find another act or section or bill to be able to pull it off if the first one that he used, the IEEPA, is struck down. So anyway, this doesn't apply to Trump-era tariffs, those under other laws, but it targets the most expansive ones imported via emergency powers. So it really, in a nutshell, boils down to what is allowed in emergency powers, what is not allowed in emergency powers. And once again, that's what we're going to be finding out at 10 a.m. today. But just to make it clear, as of this moment, it is likely 3 out of 4 shot that it is illegal. But we're going to find out because in a certain sense, it is still kind of technically in a gray area. So we're going to be finding that out. Taking a step back just to talk about some of the other craziness going on in the world right now. Trump cancels second wave of attacks after Venezuela frees prisoners. Released prisoners include some Miguel guys, a Venezuelan Spanish citizen, and respected analyst, I believe a member of he's an analyst for military strategy. But anyway, I didn't even know there was supposed to be a second wave, but I guess it got canceled. And also, as this was happening, there are some bills that Congress is currently chit-chatting about to basically stop Trump from being able to do anything in Venezuela. So that's one thing to consider. Trump says his canceled second wave of attacks on Venezuela. U.S. President Donald Trump said Friday that he canceled a second wave of attacks on Venezuela. Trump said American oil giants will invest at least $100 billion in Venezuela. The White House ordered military action in Venezuela over the weekend that led to the capture of the president, Nicolas Maduro, who was just in court here in New York. And it sounds like that, from a legal perspective, is going to be a very long, drawn-out process. So as this craziness is happening, you know who else is kind of now paying attention to the fact that I guess we could just fly into countries and take presidents and or leaders? Well, the answer is Iran. Iran's supreme leader says he won't bow down to protests or Trump. More protests loom Friday, a day after the largest demonstrations in years rock Tehran. So this is kind of interesting because not too long ago, Maduro, in front of whatever his equivalent of the government was basically, come get me, you coward, in reference to the United States, specifically Trump, kind of goading him on. And then not long after that, we literally swooped in the middle of the night and took him. So I do think it's interesting of another, I guess, leader, in this case, a quote unquote supreme leader, saying, I'm not going to bow down to you. Wouldn't be so surprised if Maduro not too long from now has, I suppose, a bunkmate. So it could be interesting to see how this particular situation plays out. But obviously, there are larger global and economic impacts to pay attention to Iran. And at this point, dude, Marco Rubio is going to be running half of the world by the time Trump is done with this administration. Like, at a certain point, we're going to have to check the power that the Secretary of State has, because before you know it, he's going to like literally be running this entire show. Iran shuts down internet and crackdown on escalating protests. I'm sharing this with you because I myself, over the past 72 hours, didn't realize how tense the situation was getting in Iran over the past couple days. It is safe to say that it has escalated at an exponential rate, and being that it's Friday, I wouldn't be surprised if over the weekend this gets to the point of boiling over even more. So I just wanted to put it on your radar as a thing, as a person where we should all be a little bit more informed, something to really, I guess, be mindful of. But I can understand how it's stressful, or maybe there's too many things going on, because even here in the US, we have a lot of escalating tensions. FBI blocked state law enforcement from ICE shooting investigation. Governor Tim Walz slams decision to exclude state officials from probe, while Vice President Vance defends the ICE agent. I know everyone and their grandma has an opinion on this. I'm sure you've seen the videos. I'm sure you've seen the photos. If not, I'm sure you've just read the highlights of this situation. And once again, it's almost as if we're kind of trained to understand these types of tensions, but generally when we do it, it's in some sort of like a third world country, and it feels a bit distant. The fact that it's happening like in our own homeland, like our own continental US, is kind of a crazy situation. So once again, unfortunately, I think it is more likely than not that heading into the weekend, these situations might get worse. And what was the other story? Border Patrol yesterday, I think another person was taken out by Border Patrol, obviously not ICE, but Border Patrol, I want to say in Portland. So these stories are starting to pop up more and more, or at least they're getting more and more media attention. And I suppose I hope for the sake of all of us that somehow we can take a magic pill and tensions simmer down. Big announcement. Now we're kind of switching up gears and getting right into the market for today. So many of you are joining now. First of all, demerit, you were late to today's class. We started at 8:20, and don't complain to me that we started early on a Friday. Sometimes there's big news and you need to be in class in time. The big news of the day, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we got the unemployment report. It came in at 4.4%. The expectation was 4.5. So it was 0.1% lower than expected. Now the market is basically on track to test the all-time highs today. We're about $2 away on the SPY. The Qs are above yesterday's high. The Russell's at an all-time high. Silver, gold, things are looking good. Yo, APU haters suck ass gifted one subscription to Matt Kohrs. Well, that is quite the name. But just so you know, the market, even in overnight trading, let me show you what's going on here. Kind of this theory. We got a pop right after market close, a little bit of a dip and a strong rally, kind of related to a big update related to, when did this come out? 4:25. So 25 minutes after the market closed. Biden ignored the housing market and instead was immersed with high crime, open borders, runaway inflation, the Afghanistan disaster, and a military that he left in chaos and confusion. Everything was broken, but I, as President of the United States, have already fixed it. Now I'm giving special attention to the housing market because I choose not to sell Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac in my first term, a truly great decision, and against the advice of experts, it is now worth many times that, an absolute fortune, and has $200 billion in cash. Because of this, I am instructing my representatives to buy $200 billion in mortgage bonds. This will drive mortgage rates down, monthly payments down, and make the cost of owning a home more affordable. Is one of the many steps in restoring affordability, something that the Biden administration absolutely destroyed. We are bringing back the American dream that was destroyed with the last administration. Make America great again. So obviously very wordy, very lengthy, but the thing you need to focus on is what I have highlighted right here. At 4:25 last night, we found out that the administration will apparently be buying $200 billion of mortgage bonds. And his analysis, the sentence after, of driving rates down, yeah, that's what buying $200 billion of bonds will do. So I myself will be tracking what the average interest rate is across America and see when this takes effect, how much of an effect does it have. So it does appear as if you're about to be a new home buyer, this might be looking pretty good for you. So I just wanted to quickly share that. And obviously, as soon as this came out, the market was pretty excited. You could see here right around 425, we did get a nice pop. Granted, it was faded a little bit into the like Australian, Asian, European session, but here we are starting to pop anyway because of that unemployment report. So that's pretty much the skinny on everything you need to know happening in the past 12 to 24 hours. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter, macquarie.locals.com. It's in the description of the video. It is 100% free. You've never had to pay for it. You never will have to pay for it. There's no weird upgrade or anything like that. It comes to your email inbox every single Sunday. It is free, FREE. Breaks down what's going on in the market, a little cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic events. Obviously today, unemployment change, non-farm payrolls, we already got them. We get the Michigan report at 10 a.m., but also at 10 a.m. is when we're expected to hear the Supreme Court opinion. And then I also give you the seasonality for each individual trading day, where today is a bit weird. Over the past 27 years worth of information, this day was really just neutral. Some bearish years, some bullish years, bearish years, bullish years, bullish, bearish, blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden, over the past 2 years, it really took a hit. So to me, this is going to be more of an outlier. So I know it says leaning bearish, but to me, it's like neutral leaning bearish. So what does that really mean? It means I'm not really taking seasonality into account. It feels like the major thing that's going to decide if today is very green or very red is the Supreme Court decision and how the market interprets it and how much was priced in, how much wasn't priced in. So really, I'm kind of just waiting for 10 a.m. And some days that's how trading goes. So just want to put that on your radar. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. Like I said, it is free, but that's not the only free thing I want to talk about today. I want to talk about Payday Friday. Folks, you heard it. Not only is it a nice Friday, TGIF, the weekend is almost here. Not only are we getting some exciting announcements with the unemployment report and what's going on with the Supreme Court and getting solid price action in the market that seems like we might be hitting a new all-time high. Yes, that is all true, but to put a couple sprinkles on this, to throw a cherry on top of this exciting Friday, Sunday, if you will. Sunday, like the dessert, not like the day of the week. We're spelling it a little differently. But anyway, a cherry on top of this Friday, Sunday. We're doing Payday Friday. It is printed at the top of chat. It is in the description of the video. It's on my Twitter page at Matt_Kohrs. All you have to do is like and retweet it. So once again, it is free. We are giving away 10 prop accounts and some cold hard cash, 5 futures accounts, 5 options accounts, all SIM funded, all 10 of those. And then of course, we are going to do a marble race to see the fastest racer in all the land for $150 cold hard cash. And of course, eternal bragging rights. This is free for everyone. Just a little bit of me to give back to you guys, the Goonie community, get you guys excited about racing, and I guess maybe to put a little bit more of an emphasis on physical fitness so we can diet and train and everything like that. So once again, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. All you have to do is hit the like button, the retweet button, and you are in. I'm planning on doing this around 10:30 today, but of course, depending on the craziness of the market, we might have to push it a little bit. And also, we might end up streaming later today. That one interview was saying that Trump has a scheduled thing at 11 a.m. Is that true? Actually, my producer's already messaging me about it. 11 a.m. private meeting with the Secretary of State. No, President Trump is not scheduled to deliver a public speech at 11 a.m. Okay, so he's not. Or is anyone? I swear, I didn't think he was talking today either. But then when on CNBC, they were talking about how Trump might be responding to the Supreme Court stuff an hour later. Did anyone hear anything about that? Because once again, my base assumption was he was not talking today, but then during the unemployment report, they were talking about the Supreme Court decision today. And one of the, I guess, interviewers or interviewees had a commentary about Trump at 11. Did you guys hear that? Or am I like just literally losing my mind? Maybe I'm just losing my mind. That is like, there's high potential of that. Let's be honest. I've been losing my mind for the past couple of years. So the fact that maybe I'm just wrong on this, yeah, you guys might be 100% right. But I don't know. If anyone sees anything different, we are looking at it. And dude, I can't even find Fed president talking at 11. Well, I don't care about the Fed president. I care about the actual president. All right. Well, if you guys have any other information that comes up related to that, please feel free to let me know. Okay, so we have about 15 minutes to go. So very quickly, I just want to kind of give you a little snapshot of what's going on in the world right now. We hit an all-time high 2 days ago, Wednesday the 7th at 6965.69. I would highly recommend setting some form. You know what? We'll make it green because that is an all-time high. So why not? And we're going to set an alert there. We want to know if we were hitting a brand new all-time high today. Once again, a record high for the S&P 500. I'm marking it out right here. I just see higher highs. I see higher lows. I see strong momentum. And then even if we look at the breakdown of kind of what's going on in terms of structure, and you're going to be able to see it here. Let me zoom in just so, take me to the dashboard, just so you can kind of see what's up. I'm looking at, let me zoom in, and you know what? We're going to do next expiration as well. All right, so here is the gamma structure. Remember, if we're above this horizontal line, that is positive gamma. Below it is negative gamma. And we are roughly this morning around 6940. So roughly where my cursor is. As in, we need to get above this big resistance. This is very evidently going to be the first major test out of the gate. We're currently trading around 6940. There's a lot of positive gamma. A huge positive gamma node at 6950. That's about 10 points above on SPX and ES. It's about $1 on the SPY. That is clearly resistance because we are running into major positive gamma. If we're able to get above that, yeah, maybe a little bit of a hiccup between 75 and 85, but I am looking similar to Atlas for us to be pushing the boulder up the mountain, and the tippity top of the mountain is 7,000. Picture a ball on top of a ramp. When we get there, that is nothing but potential energy. Yeah, it might fall and we could have a massive bullish day, or maybe it doesn't quite get up the mountain and then we fall back down, and at that point 950 would actually serve as support, and there's obviously support also at 30. So what I am looking for, first test out of the gate, is 50. The bull case would be a break of this resistance, and we slowly but surely climb up to the top of the mountain, which happens to align with a key technical psychological level of 7,000 with a potential hiccup at 7580. Now, that would be clearly the bull case. The bear case would be we don't break there, and maybe all of these guys get more aggressive at 30, and actually the first backstop is at 6,900. If that doesn't hold, then we're talking 6,870. So that would be the bear case. Right now, I know I get comments of like, what do you mean? It could either be bullish or bearish. Great analysis. Literally, that's what trading is. You have the bull case, you have the bear case, and whichever one's playing out, you play it accordingly. You don't just randomly say, oh, it has to be bullish or it has to be bearish. You never know what people are going to do, especially on a shorter time frame. Granted, on a multi-week, month, quarterly, yearly outlook, yeah, that's where it's probably a little bit more appropriate to have an overall bullish or an overall bearish thesis. But when you're talking about short-term trading, whether it's swing trading or especially active day trading, I promise you your trading career will be better off by having the bull case and the bear case and play whichever one is playing out in real time. That's a fancy way to basically say you should be reactive to price development rather than predictive, especially in the short term. Another way to put that is basically what I have on the chart right now. Feel free to write these down. Feel free to screenshot these. As I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. This white box, which is larger than normal because of the expected vol events today, is the transition zone, and then it's thought to be bullish above and bearish below and choppy within. So this white box is where we are. That is from 6915 all the way up to 6965. Like I said, we need to crack 50. As of this moment, we are at 35, so we're giving a little bit of it back. So out of the gate, I want to see if we could take this out. And then from there, I'm kind of watching 75, and then from there, 7,000. On the flip side, if this stuff does not hold, yeah, you're going to have maybe some just dip buyers at yesterday's close. Obviously, the bottom of the transition zone, 6,900 is important. And then from there, 6,870 to 6,840. Those are my levels. Obviously, to the upside is my bull case, to the downside is my bear case, and I will do my best best to play either accordingly. That's how I view the market. If you are a person who believes, no, I need to predict bullish or bearish and I need to be right all the time, well, congrats. I wish you the best of luck. You're most likely going to be right 50% of the time, but maybe you're just far, far better at trading and market analysis than I am. And maybe you've been able to do something that literally no one in the history of the market's ever been able to pull off. And if that's you, congrats on being a billionaire. You deserve every single dollar you have ever earned. So that's what I'm looking at kind of in the larger picture here. Higher highs, higher lows, strong momentum, pretty decent option set up in terms of this. I'm looking at the top of this mountain. In terms of individual equities, I'm seeing some opportunity. I'm seeing also an odd amount of disconnection, if you will. So actually, before I get into that, the Qs are not at an all-time high, but I'm still looking for this upside gap fill to 62985. Highly recommend that you all put that on your chart today as well. But what is also at the all-time high is the Russell, IWM, RTY, whatever it is. The small cap sector is loving it. Higher highs, higher lows, strong momentum, literally at record highs. I know many of you right now are playing the Russell, and honestly, a huge congrats to you. You deserve every dollar you're making. Now, even though the Russell's looking really good, part of why it's looking so good is because of the pivot from tech, specifically the Mag 7, into the Russell. And we have certain names that are just getting their teeth kicked in. Like right now, Apple, somehow down in pre-market trading, even though we're talking about all-time highs in the SPX. Apple is the bane of my existence. I think today, by the time I close out one of my positions, it's going to cost me like $7,000 and whatever, boo-hoo. But it's just like, it didn't even make an attempt to retest. I saw this like, oh, we popped, it got hit. I was like, cool, we're going to bounce off of this. We're going to make some sort of attempt. Nope, just vomit, vomit, vomit. So if anything, I'm just frustrated at myself for not cutting the position on the breakdown of 266, but what in the world's going on there? Meta, potentially a fake out breakout down. I'm seeing a little bit of strength this morning. I want to see if this breakdown below 638, like I said, is a bit of a fake out. I want it to recover all the way back up to that 50 EMA, closer to 660. Tesla, once again, maybe a huge pop, a pullback, a slight overshoot, but already seeing some strength this morning. So once again, I want to see if that can recover that 50 EMA. Google hitting an all-time high yesterday, once again showing strength this morning. Nvidia, not really doing a whole heck of a lot. It popped, it dropped, it popped, literally just sitting at the EMAs, not really trending at this moment in time. Microsoft's been under a lot of pressure lately. It's been trying to break out. Every single time it does break out, it gets rejected, showing a bit of weakness this morning. So I'm just waiting to see if this trend ever changes. Amazon, it's not an all-time high, but it might as well be because this thing is moving like none other. I have no Amazon position right now. I feel like I kind of missed it, and ever since then, it's just been ripping. So I'm watching it. I have no position. If you're in it, especially to the bullish side, congrats to you. Palantir was recovering, got smacked, and it really just seems quite jumpy at all of these EMAs, and even right now it's slightly green in pre-market, but doesn't really seem to be confidently breaking one way or the other. So once again, just waiting on that one. Avago looking weak, AMD looking weak, ASML looking very strong. Walmart tapped that 50 EMA, beautiful bounce, looking strong. Rumble trying to recover that EMA cloud. Netflix continuing to get its teeth kicked in. Oracle continuing to get its teeth kicked in. DJT putting in a higher low, potentially trying to get this breakout. Watch 1460. SoFi, try to recover, quickly got smacked, but right now it is technically above that EMA cloud, so it's not trending at all, but maybe the bulls are trying to put up a fight. Robinhood starting to look weak, lower highs, lower lows below all that EMA cloud. MicroStrategy, like, still just clearly getting brutalized. This is one of the worst looking charts, or I should say really good looking charts if you're bearish on it, but this thing has just been annihilated, and actually to the degree that it's like a multi-standard deviation move, I never thought it was going to get this bad. It even took me by surprise, but like, holy cow, that thing's getting murked. Coin also not looking so good. Hut, crypto mining company, looking very good. CoreWeave not really doing anything. Open, this is another scam company. It's just another retail orchestrated fake ass short squeeze play. Not looking good. It's just only a matter of time before this thing capitulates because too many retail traders were chasing it to the upside. They're probably now underwater. They're going to eventually puke it, and it's going to go the way of like GameStop or AMC. Qubits trying to recover. IONQ attempting to recover. Iron attempting to recover. Rigetti, it hasn't really attempted yet. Oklo really moving early this morning, is up 18%. Oklo, for those of you who like chased it and for whatever reason held on to it for way too long. It is starting to recover, so I guess congrats to you. Texas Roadhouse, higher low, trying to get that breakout. Would love for this thing to break above 188, 189. And that's kind of pretty much it. We talked about small cap hitting it. Gold seemingly making a run at the all-time high. Silver also seemingly making a run at the all-time high. So that's pretty much the skinny on the situation. Let me go back here. Since we have a little bit of extra time today, first of all, remember, it is Payday Friday. This is free for all of you. All you have to do is like and retweet. My Twitter account is Matt_Kohrs. It's also pinned to the top of chat on both Rumble and on YouTube, or you could just go here, or I don't know. You can figure it out. You're an adult. If you can't find this, that's on you, and maybe you don't deserve to be in the Payday Friday anyway. But for those of you who know how to navigate the internet, all you have to do is like and retweet, and you will be in this Payday Friday. So shout out there. And in the meantime, as you guys are entering into the Payday Friday, and of course, good luck, Godspeed. Are there any other charts, since we have extra time, are there any other charts that you guys want me to break down? Any other analysis? We have an extra 5 minutes, which is a rarity for us in here. A rarity. Feel free to comment below. I'm trying to see if there's particular tickers that maybe multiple members of the community are interested in. So where are you guys at? What do you guys, RKT, is that Rocket Company is popping. It's bullish. I wouldn't be chasing it. Your last entry was basically over here, but that's looking good. RKLB, Rocket Labs, you guys have been asking about. Like I said, the entry was here on the 18th. The entry was here on the 2nd. I wouldn't be chasing it at this moment, but ride the trend. If you have in a position, ride it as long as you can. Open is a piece of shit. I wouldn't touch it. If I had to, I would actually short it, but I really wouldn't touch it. We already talked about SoFi. We already talked about Tesla. ASTS, we haven't talked about that one. Looking bullish. The entry was here on the 2nd. The entry was here on the 19th. I wouldn't be chasing it at this point. It's just too far away from those moving averages, but like clearly that is higher highs and higher lows, so ride the trend as long as you can. Tilray, no. Tilray is exclusively a political play. Like fundamentally, it's a poor company. It's just burning cash because they don't have political approval to be fully federally legalized here in the U.S. So if they do go fully federally legalized, I expect it to pop. But right now, it's a race against time. They're just burning cash, burning cash, burning cash. We already talked about Oracle, APLD. We did not talk about that one. Double top situation. It is a higher low. It is a double top. I guess you could have gotten in on the 2nd, risking the low from the 29th. I definitely wouldn't be chasing it here. For me, if I had to play this and I don't like it, I would wait for another dip in the cloud. And if I saw another higher low, I'd be playing it off of that. But remember, it's all about just minimizing your risk. You really, really want to minimize your risk. You don't want to be chasing after the thing's already made its move. Like, obviously. Bitcoin, it tried to break out, pulled back, might be another higher low. I actually think this could get, if this recaptures 92,000, finally, for the first time in a while, we actually might have some positive momentum. So we're going to see how that one plays out. Herein, we already talked about that. INTC, we have not talked about. Intel. Intel got a little bit of a pop. Trump once again talking about it. Remember, the U.S. government now owns 10% of the company, so they're definitely going to speak highly of it. Higher highs, higher lows. Decent entry here on either the 30th or on the 2nd. Obviously risking this low from the 24th. But once again, strong structure. Bulls are in control. Would I chase it here? No. Remember, you want your entries to be as close to your risk as humanly possible, in my opinion, especially if you're swing trading or investing with trend. AMD, we talked about that. Micron, we have not talked about that. Going, yeah, that's very evidently strong. I don't know what the question would possibly be there. How is Riot doing? Oh, trying to break out. Riot got hit, popped, equal lows. Yeah, kind of double topped here, but it is trying to recover right now. So maybe something interesting to watch. I don't really like mining companies in a general sense. I just think there's better plays out there. I strongly believe if you like crypto, go buy crypto. I don't really understand the point of investing your money in mining plays if you like crypto itself. Like if you want to invest in mining plays, you should specifically like that mining play, not just because, oh, I like Bitcoin. If you like Bitcoin, go get Bitcoin. Snap, we have not looked at that one actually in a while. I don't even know when I drew these lines. It's going nowhere, and it's going nowhere fast. So it seems boring, or it seems like you should sell premium. DUOL, Duolingo. What is this one? Okay. I forgot. I thought it was had a different ticker. Yeah, this is getting destroyed because of all the technological developments in, I suppose, like the headphones and whatnot that translate in real time for you. So I wouldn't, if I had to play this, I would have bet against it on this breakdown here or on this breakdown over here. I would not be looking to go, like, it looks like it's just going to the wayside. Really, we're just at a point where technology, I suppose, is exceeding what that company does. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all, play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right. Let's see what the market has in store for us today. I do want to remind you, even though we already had the unemployment report that did come out at 8:30 a.m. ET, coming in lower than expected. I very much need to let you know. Hang on, what's moving? Do we have anything really moving over here? Fucking Apple, dude. Apple's such a piece of shit. At 10 a.m., we're getting the Michigan numbers, but more importantly, we are getting the Supreme Court opinions, and one of those opinions might relate to Trump's tariffs. So it's not a guarantee. They don't release a list of what opinions they are releasing, but it is assumed that they're going to be chit-chatting about Trump's tariffs, and technically are the tariffs that he, I guess, implemented legally allowed based on the IEEPA. Why would someone buy BTC miners when revenue gets cut 50% every 4 years, even in perfect operations? Their top line still drops by half. Not really, because you could always add more miners. I understand what you're saying, but that you're basing it on the assumption that they're never getting more miners. But I agree with you. I don't. If you like Bitcoin, go get Bitcoin. If you're specifically getting a miner play, like a Bitcoin miner play, you need to like it because you think that one is running, for one reason or another, a better mining business than the other ones. But I kind of get what you're saying, but I think your base business assumption is inaccurate. Dude, the Russell's ripping. How many of you right now are long the Russell or RTY or like any variant of the Russell 2000? Because I'm seeing some people in chat jacked up about this. Someone said WTF Tesla. I mean, I feel like this is kind of just a normal Tesla thing, to be completely honest. It just kind of moves that much. Meta's actually taking a little bit of a hit. NVIDIA is crossing some sort of line. I guess that's the low from yesterday. The thing that I see is exciting right now is the Russell's popping. In the very first minute, we did get the downside gap fill on SPY. IWM 0DT LMAO. Hey, I don't like the play, but I do wish you the best of luck. It seems like generally the most happy people to kick off this new year of trading have been the small cap long community, because you guys are crushing it. TNA. What the hell is TNA? I don't think I've... it's the leverage. I have never traded this in my life. So TNA is the 3x leverage small cap. You guys are degenerates. I know I have problems. You guys have problems. You're going for the 3x leverage Russell. You guys need help. I thought I needed help, and then talking with you guys day in and day out, I realized I'm actually doing pretty fine, and I have my life in control. You don't know what TNA is? No. Why would I know what TNA is? Like, that's not popular at all. It's tits and ass. Oh yeah. That's me. That's on me. It's tits and ass. We're going long tits and ass. You guys need help. You guys, I thought I needed help, and then I realized it's you, in fact, are the people who need help. But hey, it happens. Hey, folks, if you guys could do me a huge favor on both Rumble and YouTube, if you're watching right now, take 4 seconds out of the day, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Liking, subscribing, turning on your notifications, all those things are completely free, and it really does help me and the team out, get this show and this community in front of other people so we can continue to grow the Goonie cult. That is the goal of 2026. How many more cult members can we get into our degenerate trading way of life? That's the goal. The more cult members, the better. Our goal is to be the best cult out there. Like, we want to, Mormons, we want to give them a run for their money. Scientology, we want to give them a run for their money. All those people who drink Kool-Aid, we want to give them a run for their money. Like, we want to go down, like, folks, this is your opportunity to be a member of just history. You'll be like, yeah, I was an early cult member in the biggest, the baddest cult. Hey, Matt, I agree, but today if one mining rig generates $100 a day in 4 years, that same rig will generate $50 a day. They need to sprint forward to stay in the same spot that it was. Nope. Once again, you're missing basic business. What you really should be focusing in on is the margin, because right there, the $100 a day, the $50 a day, what if on the $100 a day, it was costing 99, so they're net 1, but what if on the 50 it was 48 and they're net 2? You're focusing on the wrong business aspects, like not just the pure revenue. Obviously, you want to look at profit and efficiency. It's not much more complicated than that, but it is a bit more complicated than just how much money were they making a day. Because at the end of the day, you can easily scale this stuff. So if you're having a better margin, you could easily go get more capital from banks and whatnot to make it. Like, it's not just that pure revenue number. It's how efficient is the business, what is the net, and then from there, the higher the net, you can expand it easily, especially if you're the best in it. People are going to give you loans like no other. Loans like no other. All right, let me go. I forgot to show you guys the options flow. Even though price just popped, options flow actually took a hit on the Mag 7, interestingly enough. But SPY is popping ever since the first 2.5 minutes. We are getting that movement to the upside. So people are not touching puts, and they are buying calls, specifically 0 DTE calls, ever since 9:32. So 2 minutes into the day, there was a little bit of a hiccup, and then the buyers started to step in on the S&P 500, while they are not really doing anything on the Mag 7. There was a little bit of put buying, a little bit of call selling, and then it just kind of went flat at that same time that people started to buy the S&P 500. So a little bit of a mismatch movement between the Mag 7 and the S&P 500 options flow. With respect to momentum right now, the 5-minute almost dipped in red and just saved itself. The 10-minute kissed it like its cousin from Alabama. So a little bit of a smooch right there and then popped, and 30-minute and 4-hour are still bullish. The 5-minute on the NASDAQ was bearish. It's trying to cross literally as we speak. Same thing on the 10-minute. That could get a little bit interesting. And then right here, the NASDAQ, same thing on the 30-minute. It almost broke down, but trying to recover. So a little bit whippy. Tech has been weak, unfortunately. So we're waiting to see how that plays out. Obviously, you guys already know my key levels for the day. I want to break 50. 50 is this key level. 50 is a massively, massively important level. Yesterday, the way 25 was important and we just couldn't break it, that's what 50 is today. So watch 6950. We are at 48. This is going to be the real test. Would I be chasing right here? Absolutely not. You'd be silly to be chasing, because if it gets rejected, that's your potential reward, and your risk is all the way down here. It's one thing if you wait and you get rejected and then there's a higher low, or if there's a breakout and a pullback, but just to chase when this is your potential upside, assume you're wrong. Assume it does get rejected. And then maybe if you're right, great, whatever, get your stop to break even as quickly as you can. But this is the major test I'm paying attention to. And I also did not draw this properly because there was too much movement. Boppity bop 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 bop. Okay. We're getting that set up. All right, so we have the I suppose the extended hours trading low down here, 25,627, and then the high is 25,824. Remember, basic analysis will tell you that we take out the extended hours high or low, or not and, or in excess of like 80, 85, almost 90% of the time. So those are very good targets to have if you get on the right trend of it. So just wanted to put that out there. If you're trading NQ, especially if you're trading like whatever your Apex accounts or your FFN accounts or whatever it is, here's mine. I haven't done anything yet today. I've been a good boy thus far, just trying to do my best to stay calm, cool, collected. And in all reality, I am pleased to report that as long as I don't blow out my big accounts today, when I say big accounts, I don't mean they all started with 50K. Those are just the accounts I choose to trade. If I trade something different, I'll let you know. When I say big, they just have bigger buffer. They started at 50K and now they have about $34,000 worth of buffer. On my big accounts, the top 15, as long as I don't blow out today, I will be getting the opportunity to do another payout request. So that is definitely a major thing I'll be attempting to do today. So really the name of the game for me today is to not blow out. As long as I don't give back $34,000 worth of profit, I should be able to do a request. And I guess technically it's going to be a little bit less than that because you have to have some buffer to request from. So really that's my goal on the day is if I wanted to, I could literally just do a little scalp trade right now. I could get in and out for one tick and call it good and move on with my life. That is completely acceptable. But if I see a good opportunity, you never know. Maybe you can make a quick $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, something like that. Not a bad reversal trade right there. The risk is a little bit higher than no, that risk wasn't that bad. This reversal trade right here, long at 54. Something like that, risking 35, you're risking $15. That's not too bad. About $300 for an NQ contract. Not bad. So that's my goal with the bigger accounts. The smaller accounts, they still have quite a road ahead of them. They need more trading days. They need more profits. They need more buffers. So the bottom 5 Apex accounts and the bottom 3 FFN accounts, the FFN ones, I need to trade for 7 more days, 6 more days, 5 more days, something like that. And I need to get the profits above 53,000. These other Apex ones, I think I need to trade for 5 more days. And I think I need to get the profits above 55,000. And I think they're going to get denied anyway, because I think I broke one of the 30% max adverse rules or some shit like that. But we'll find out. I don't know. I don't ask the questions. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, mother. Oh, brother. Oh, mother, oh, brother. It's not a bad long there at 60. Your risk could be 50. You might, unfortunately, already be getting tagged. For me, it's a little bit too early in the day, especially if the market wants to retest VWAP, which is not far away. But if anything, I'm just trying to keep the ants out of my pants and wait for this Supreme Court decision. So we are expecting a jostling of price action at 10 a.m. So I'm just waiting to see how that plays out. While we are waiting for that, hey, if you're ripping it, I recommend trade with trend, respect your risk. I think it is better, honestly, just to wait for these announcements to come out and see what in the world is actually happening today. But hey, that's just how I view the situation. And I'm not your mom. I'm not in control of your money. Feel free to do whatever in the world you think is appropriate. Whatever you think is appropriate. I'm seeing a little pop there. The Qs might be going to test that high from yesterday, which is 623.42. So just waiting. Here's a look at flow. The SPX did take a clear hit at 938. Interestingly enough, price is holding on fine, and the Mag 7 is doing nothing. It got a hit, it popped, gave it all back, going flat. So no real directional trend movement quite yet. You have to be patient. Sometimes the opportunities aren't there. Just because you're looking at the chart doesn't mean it's an appropriate opportunity to trade the chart. If I have to give the edge to someone, I am giving it to the bulls. The 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, and the 4-hour on the S&P 500 futures contract is bullish. And then I am watching the NASDAQ. So the 5-minute is attempting to recover. The 10-minute almost broke down. You know what might be an interesting watch is actually the 10-minute kind of Orbo breakout there. I think I have that set up on one of my screens. Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one? It is this one. All right. So the red dashed lines are the current session's high and low, which for right now is the 10-minute Orbo. We made the low at 9:32. We made the high at 9:38. So kind of and then obviously the blue dash line is that 50% retracement. Can you please explain the previous screen with Mag 7? How can we get this? You would go into the description of the video and you would find the link to Spot Gamma and you would use the 80% off discount and you would then just buy a subscription to Spot Gamma. Did the prelim U of Michigan consumer sentiment just get added to the calendar for 10 a.m. today? I don't know what you mean just added, but it's on the calendar. Oh, they're talking about this decision. Hang on, this might be important.
I've never been a member. 28 and 32, and particularly in the battle around list pricing off patent at some point.
There's some revolutionary stuff that they're doing here. Again, the president wants it, they're getting it.
Jim, we're about 20 minutes away from maybe a decision on IEPA. We mentioned it with Hassett. A lot of estimates today on how much some retailers, for example, have paid already. Walmart by Roth's estimates $8 billion. Costco $3 billion. Target $2.5 billion.
Sued. I guess they're looking for a rebate for us club members. David, I don't know. You may have the executive. I have just the regular card. My wife has the black card.
Costco. I've never been a member. Sorry.
Google new all-time high.
In New York, you don't have the closet space that might be a requisite for shopping there.
You like high prices?
No, I just don't shop, as you know. Well, I try not to consume anything.
It's disappointing. Including decent clothes.
Yes, I don't. Thank you.
Maxx has that out.
Thanks for the shot there. Thanks, appreciate it.
$14.95 is pretty good.
These are nice jeans.
Yeah,
this is a nice sweater.
Was it about $18?
All right.
Anyway, back to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Is any of the action last couple days reflecting optimism that they would get refunds?
No.
No?
I mean, it looks like that. I don't know how. I mean, I thought that the questioning by some of the justices was so negative about the president's position that I can't believe he can win on this. But the betting line is obviously people think that you're home free. The president did say it would be a disaster if they don't get this.
Meanwhile, though, Kevin Hassett just said that they have alternative methods and they're going to rely on other authorities to basically keep the same
Mag 7's flat.
Let's call it, broadly speaking, same level of tariffs in place.
Who's above the Supreme Court?
No. They're going to rely on 232. They're going to rely on other.
National emergency.
Yeah.
Other ways.
What we read today, there's a way he punted out for 150 days.
And jacket, national emergency, you have to have that.
Coming back to that?
Yeah. Well, no, because I think that it's ridiculous. Most of the stuff that we bring in from China, there's not a lot of national emergency to it. There isn't. Trinkets?
Well, we don't bring in nearly as much stuff from China anymore.
VWAP is 722. Watch for a VWAP retest.
Is it great? Sometimes you do wonder, wouldn't it be great if everybody could buy a 25,000 BYD automobile? Obviously, that's never going to happen, and I understand the implications of allowing it.
Wipe out Ford and GM? Wouldn't it be great to wipe out Ford
But you're
and
making a decision every day, obviously, to not do that. You want to talk about affordability?
Affordability is
right? $25,000
Are they just like mumbling about shit until this comes out?
I mean,
a little bit of a pop in price right here.
We are making decisions in this country.
Not the craziest long. You could take this breakout at 65. Your risk is 31 or VWAP, or maybe you average in there. I don't like it. I'm not taking it. But if you did, and you're targeting 90 or 800,
by the way, we could also,
I don't mind it.
Solar panels. I mean,
there's a lot of sellers up here at 800 right now, relative to the rest of the liquidity.
We're securing 40% of Western Hemisphere oil production, while the Chinese are going crazy on solar.
They are.
You know, I mean, we could just put those up everywhere. They cost nothing. We could, instead of subsidize, well, we don't even care about solar anymore in this country anyway.
We're nuclear-based. Alkaline.
We're nuclear-based.
Flip a switch.
We're oil and gas, baby. Oil and gas.
Hey, Jim, how about a couple travel upgrades? Marriott, BMO.
Someone's hitting it beforehand.
Please.
Are we kissing VWAP?
I know. It's a little late.
Yeah, a little bit. The white dash line. Little white. Dude, this guy's so fucking annoying. I'm sorry. I thought they were going to have a useful conversation. My apologies. That's on me. I should have learned my lesson that they're not going to be having a useful conversation. So sorry. Once again, that's on me. I accept it. I'm not perfect. I'm not Mother Teresa here. But I do want to point out that we just got smashed below VWAP, which is a good reason of why, even though I like some of these technical breakouts and these recoveries, I just don't like them early in the day because there's so many fake outs. There's so much vol. There's so much just like sweeps up and down. And in the world of trading futures, from 770 down to 670, that's 100 points. That's $2,000. So yeah, if you're right, you could be a lot of it right, but also if you're wrong, you could be a lot of it wrong. So this is, even though I liked the structure of it and I would have maybe preferred taking those trades if it was later in the day, the fact that it's before 10 a.m., the fact that it's before 10 a.m. when it's a Friday, we got unemployment reports, we're going to get the Michigan numbers, and also we are most importantly hearing from the Supreme Court, I just don't see how I have much of an advantage. Now, if you're a VWAP buyer because we were above it and you're buying that dip, yeah, it looks like it's going to come back. Maybe you can make a quick 20, 30, 40 points, and maybe you could be done on the day. Obviously, just employ whatever strategy you want. It's just, I beg of you, respect your risk. Remember, when it comes to the world of futures trading, there's no pattern day trading. You can trade as much as you want. It doesn't matter what your account size is, and it especially doesn't matter on SIMDA funded, where your orders aren't hitting the market anyway. So if you want to get in, and as soon as it goes 5 points in your favor, set your stop to break even and take all risk off the table, folks, have at it. You can be as risk conscious, as risk conservative as you possibly want to be. Like truly. And honestly, not only through talking to actual futures traders, like when I'm saying they're not even doing SIMDA funded, but also some of the most successful SIMDA funded traders, that's the one commonality that I'm seeing in futures trading, SIMDA funded trading, swing trading, options trading, crypto trading. Like the best traders are just the best risk managers. They really are. All right, we are retesting VWAP here. So if you bought at VWAP, you're very much praying that this continues. You're hoping that that 700 psychological level holds. The POC, the point of control where most volume has been traded at, is 675. So I would say this is a general support zone, or a general, just like kind of, this is that gray zone, that chop zone between 675 and 720. We are watching VWAP up here. And then 670, which is where we kind of dipped to, was point of control. So this to me is no man's land. And I just want to know, are we above or below? But in reality, I just want to find it within myself to have 9 more minutes of discipline, of patience. I don't really just need to be trading right now when I know that there's a potential shocker. What's this?
All I know is just that there are a lot of Americans.
Dude, they just need to bring Rick on for all this shit. I don't want to listen to anyone else. Mag 7 is not trending. SPY is actually trending down. We have some of these key levels that I just want to call out to you. We're at 34. We're looking for that breakout of 50. There is support between 20 and 25. So support pretty close, resistance pretty close. I have a feeling that the Supreme Court decision is going to either cause the breakout or cause the breakdown. On the breakout, I'm looking at 6975, which would be a new all-time high. If there is a breakdown, I'm looking at a retest of the key technical, psychological, and gamma level of 6,900. That is your bull case. That is your bear case. That's what I'll be playing, and I'm going to be attempting to play it accordingly. We just need to be patient. Google did hit a new all-time high. Apple is the bane of my existence. Fuck Apple. Meta, not really doing much. Tesla is actually trying to recover here. Google, like I said, looking good. Nvidia potentially breaking down a little bit. Microsoft not looking good. Amazon not doing anything, but recently looking good. Palantir potentially putting in this lower high. I don't like that. Avago not really doing anything. AMD not looking good. ASML is looking phenomenal. That's almost a new all-time high. Walmart is looking great. Look at that beaut, Clark. Look at that beaut. That is Sydney Sweeney at the Golden Globes, folks. That's hot. That is, if that doesn't make you feel some sort of way, you might need to go to the doctor and get your libido checked out, because that is a sight to see right there. A pop, a pullback. It respects the 50 EMA. Nice technical breakout. Close risk. You're riding it. Dude, don't get me started on that one. Don't get me started on that one. Rum trying to break out. Netflix, horrible. Oracle, horrible. DJT not doing anything. SoFi trying to break out. Robinhood not really doing anything, looking weak. Open is dog shit. Oh, brother. Oh. I thought now we're at the level of like Ana de Armas. We went from Sydney Sweeney to Anna de Armas just like that, folks. Just like that. I mean, holy shit. If you thought you had a hormonal issue and this one doesn't help you, I don't know. I don't know what is. I'm not saying I'm a doctor or something, but holy shit, if you're not looking at old Texas Roadhouse rip into fucking Kingdom Come, nice technical breakouts, upside gap fill, high or low, strong momentum, dude, you're not a human. You check yourself for a heartbeat if this doesn't make you feel some sort of way. Golly. That's looking purty. That has a purty mouth on it. All right, 6 minutes out. Mag 7 just got a little bit of an uptick from 950.
If the Supreme Court strikes it down,
SPY a little bit of an uptick.
I'm betting it over.
They're still bumbling around here on CNBC.
Be careful. Some of the companies may keep it. Next week is the most important week in drugs and biotechs because this is when a lot of deals are done. I'm sitting down with 12 execs. These are the companies that I think basically are at the heart and soul of our
don't forget to stretch. Let's get that oxygen flow
really
to more of our muscles. Don't forget to.
Are going to come down because there's a lot of people who feel that prices are coming down. Like we talked about.
We're hanging out at VWAP.
Some of it is
perfect neutrality. Market doesn't know what it wants.
You can't keep raising prices anymore.
Well, some of it is the competitive nature of a market where you have two entrants, which is kind of why we like to not have monopolies sometimes.
Right. No, but I just think these are great companies, and I got to find out what they're doing, particularly who they're going to acquire, what they're after. I try to look at, again, immunology, cardio, and oncology. That's where the breakthroughs are coming, particularly in oncology. Just be very interesting to see what they've got. They bring them out. They bring out their new drugs there.
It's interesting. Normally the market appreciates a strong pricing stance. But in this case, we're fighting against that.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think it's amazing. This J&J deal is a great template. Building here, therefore making a good deal with the president and, of course, the Trump rates. Everything's supposed to be.
Well, I think it is interesting. I mean, the Trump RX, but
that's
nobody.
Real.
Yeah,
well, I need to know if Cuban thinks it's real.
Big Pharma did not take their estimates down for 26 or 27, so it may be real, but it isn't in some of the key drugs.
He's right.
Jim, look forward to it. We'll see you next week, obviously. When we come back, the first Supreme Court decision day of the new year. Tariffs might be among them.
Might be. Sorry, I'm just taking a quick screenshot for the Discord. If you're in the Discord, I have January 9th meta plays that I just got out of for a slight profit. I am posting it in Swingers right now. I'm posting it into Swingers right now. Meta fill. All right, so that's in there. I just had to get out of it because it literally expires today. So we dumped that one. The only other one that I'm actually concerned about here is fucking Apple, and there's nothing I could even do about it because Apple, dude, folks, please don't let me trade Apple in the future. How do I get VWAP in Ninja? Is it paid? Which one should I buy? No, it's not paid. I literally just Googled Ninja Trader 8 VWAP and I downloaded it. It was a script I had to add on, but I want to be clear, I did not pay for it. Here, let me see if I can find it for you. I don't even Ninja Trader 8 VWAP. I think this is literally all I did. It might be this one. This one's probably close enough if it is not the one, but I literally just Googled Ninja Trader 8 VWAP and I just imported that one. It's not paid. To directly answer your question, no, I did not pay for it. I would not pay for something like that. Megan. Megan. How can she do this to us? All right, folks, if you haven't already, don't forget to enroll in Payday Friday. It is 100% free. All you have to do is retweet, and follow. Hit this button, and make sure you are following, and you will be involved in Payday Friday. We're giving away 10 prop accounts, 5 for futures from FFN. Shout out to them. Code Goonie will get you 50% off. Buy one, get one, and no activation fee. One of the best deals in the market for futures trading right now. And then the other one is Vanquish Trader. This is sim-funded trading, but for options. If you use that code Goonie, you will be getting 25% off, a free reset, and also no activation fee. So if you're an options trader, check out Vanquish. If you're a futures trader, check out FFN. If you trade both, check out both. And once again, shout out to them for sponsoring today's giveaway. Code Goonie will get you a discount there if you happen to not be a winner. If you are a winner and you want more accounts, use that code Goonie. And other than that, we're going to be giving away some of those accounts and $150 of cold, hard cash. My plan is to do that around 10:30-ish today, depending on how crazy the market either is or is not. So just wanted to call that out before all hell is about to break loose. All hell is about to break loose. I've never been through an event like this.
Good
the
Friday
Supreme
morning.
Court
Welcome
thing.
to Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with
Buckle
Carl
up,
Quintanilla and
Buttercup.
David Faber. We are live from Post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange.
What's it gonna be?
We are getting ready for what could be a big hour of breaking news as we wait to see whether
All
the
right.
Supreme Court will issue a ruling.
Maybe it's coming,
on the
maybe it's
president's
not.
Tariffs. We'll bring it to you, any news, as soon as we get it. We also have some big names ready to weigh in on this morning's jobs report, including Mohamed El
Little bit of a
Chief
pop.
Economic Advisor at Allianz, is here. Plus, Goldman Sachs, Jan Hatzius, with his first take on the numbers.
More
what
of
it
a
means
pop.
for
We're going
the
up.
Fed policy moving forward.
Let's get to Eamon Javers, talk about this possible decision on the legality of the president's tariffs. Morning, Eamon.
Yeah, good morning to you, Carl. We are on high alert here in Washington, waiting to see whether the Supreme Court will issue that decision today. They're under a lot of pressure to get this done because, of course, companies are paying the tariffs in real time, and companies want some clarity of whether those tariffs are, in fact, legal for the administration to collect. To put this in perspective for
We're
you,
giving it
Carl,
back.
take a look at sort
Pop.
of what's at stake here. The overall tariff
market
revenue
doesn't know how to
that was
interpret
collected
this.
in 2025 and 2026 so far this year, and then what the subset is from these so-called IEPA tariffs, which are at stake here in the Supreme Court. Total tariff
IEPA
revenue collected,
tariffs.
$251 billion. The IEPA-specific tariffs, $133
Also, the Michigan
billion.
numbers are out.
That's the part that's at risk here, because the question in the Supreme Court is whether the International Emergency Atomic Economic Powers Act
First pop, then a
actually
drop.
has the authority in it to collect tariffs. That's the law that the president used to justify his tariffs, and that's what's at issue in the Supreme Court today. So if those tariffs are struck down by the court today,
Michigan numbers, consumer sentiment rises to 54, estimate 53.5. Once again, those are the Michigan prelim numbers.
To repay that $133 billion to the companies that sent those checks to the U.S. government. So a lot at stake for all the companies that paid tariffs, a lot at stake for the Trump administration. The president himself has been hammering home in recent weeks just how important he thinks this
I'm
ruling
not seeing
is
anything
to
definitive
his
quite
leadership
yet. I'm
as
watching
president
all
of the
my
United
news
States.
feeds.
His ability to bring foreign countries to the table to negotiate, his
We
ability
did
to
get the
collect
Michigan
revenue for the
numbers.
U.S. government, and his leadership overall of the American economy, guys. So a lot at stake. We expect over the next couple of minutes that we will get a sense of whether the Supreme Court has issued a ruling or not, and we'll go through it page by page as soon as we get it, Carl. Back over to you.
Amy, Kevin Hassett earlier indicated the administration has this fallback plan already of using other authorities conceivably to replace the authority that may be lost if, in fact, the Supreme Court rules against them. Do we have any sense as to how quickly that
David?
could take place?
Yeah, David, I'm just being told here by our producer, Ashley Trujillo, that we have one decision from the Supreme Court that has just come in. It is not the decision that we're looking for. Correct, Ashley?
Not the decision.
So no opinion today on tariffs, guys.
No
just
opinion
one opinion
today.
from the Supreme Court. They don't tell you exactly what's coming each day, so you just know there's a decision day. And what we're being told right now is that they have issued a decision.
They're not giving it to
the
us.
Decision in the tariffs case. That means we're going to continue to wait here.
Not
and that
happening.
Means, as you've
No
mentioned,
news.
David, that meeting that Kevin
No
Hassett discussed on our air
news.
this morning to plan for sort of Plan B options on tariffs.
Remember when I was
the White
saying
House is going to have a little
potential?
bit more time to consider its Plan B options. They have said they have a lot of options. One would be changing the tariffs into some sort of fee in order to just replace the tariff language with a fee language. That might be enough to pass Supreme Court muster, depending on what the decision is that comes down. But as of right now,
So
we're being
market
told
pop.
no decision by the Supreme Court on tariffs today.
No decision on tariffs.
When would we get it?
Not
then?
happening.
I mean, if it isn't
Good question.
Yeah.
And we don't know. I mean, the Supreme Court works in mysterious ways, and they announce these decision days sometimes a couple days in advance. So you will get a sense that there's another decision day coming, but because
Really
there's so many
choppy thus
pending
far.
cases in
Mag
the
7
queue,
just
so to
started
speak,
to
at
pop
any given
at 10.
time, you just don't know
Spy
which
did
decisions
pop
are going
and
to be
gave it
issued
back.
on which
All-
day.
we're
The
all
Supreme
over the
Court
map
kind
today.
of, sends these decisions
choppy.
down from Mount Olympus, and we stand here waiting to hear what they have to say.
But once
So
again,
we don't know when this
no
decision is going to come. And again,
decision today.
you go back to the idea that companies are paying these
That's
tariffs
the
every
major
single day.
news. Not
Companies want some
happening.
clarity here, and so the court is under some pressure to do this decision as quickly as they can. They've said they're going to take it on sort of an expedited basis and move as quickly as possible, but that doesn't seem to be as quickly as today.
All right, let us know when the next decision comes due, and I guess we'll
keep
do
you
this
posted.
all over again. Thank
Exactly
you,
right.
Eamon Javers. We also have some data crossing on top of jobs already today.
Michigan
Consumer
numbers.
sentiment. Rick Santelli has it for us.
Rick's in chat.
Yes, there's some surprises here. These are University of Michigan sentiment with inflation gauges. They're January preliminary, which means in a couple weeks they may be modified. Headline number comes in better than expectations at 54. That would be the best level since Sep of last year. And if you look at current conditions, 52.4. That's also above expectations, and both these are sequentially higher than the previous look. That's the best since October of last year.
What a
Now, let's
professional.
look at expectations.
What a
It
fucking
equals
professional.
expectations at 55 and 54.6 in the rearview mirror, and all three are sequentially higher. That would be the best since August of 25. Now, the inflation gauges, and these things really did get out of whack for a while. 4.2, 1/10 warmer than expected, equals the rearview mirror. That's 1 year inflation. It equals where the read was in December of last year, the last month of 25. To find a lower number, you're going to January of last year. And finally, the 5 to 10 year outlook
I guess the
comes in
Supreme
warm
Court's
on both
not so
sides. Whether
supreme.
you're looking in the rearview mirror or through the windshield, 3.4%. That equals where we were in November of 25. To find a higher number, you're going back to October of 25. Now, real quickly here we hover at 418. Okay, y'all remember Pac-Man? We've taken so many bites on the 10-year on the top of this range, right around 419. And 419 happens to be where we settled last week, so that would be unchanged on the week. Pay close attention to that 420
No
level.
real
Should
breakout
we
or
settle
breakdown. The
above
Russell's
that, I
taking
would
a
look
bit of
for
a hit.
significant selling to be coming in next week. Sarah, back to you.
Yeah, just some color here from this report that you just shared, Rick. Improvements in January we're seeing among lower income consumers. That's good, because we know that was a weak spot. And Rick, they also say consumers' worries about tariffs appear to be gradually receding. That's also a notable improvement.
Absolutely, and considering the tariff issue, listen, Steve Leisman always says
We're breaking
he's waiting
to the south
for some
side.
effects down the road. But boy, I'll
5
tell you,
minute
it's like
breaking
waiting
down,
for
10 minute
Godot,
breaking
so that
down,
doesn't
30 minute
surprise
is
me
testing.
That the
4 hours still
had that,
bullish. 5
impression.
minute breaking down, 10
Okay,
minute
thank
breaking
you,
down,
Rick.
30
Thank
minute
you very
breaking
much.
down,
Rick
4 hours
Santelli
is
on
also
consumer
breaking
sentiment,
down.
jumping a little bit
Oh,
this past month. Look, it was
golly.
Jobs Day, and just to rehash the numbers a little bit, there was good news and there was bad news in this report. So the good news, we'll start there, I'm always an optimist, is that unemployment rate fell. Remember I said this was really important. This is what the Fed is watching very closely. It was 4.6%,
closing
and
value,
it came
6921.
down
Watch
to
this and watch
4.4%.
1.5.
David, if you don't round the number, it was actually 4.375%.
Yes,
So that was
Kevin
good
Hassett
news.
made a
Did
point
he
of
make
that?
that
Yes.
point too? Yeah, I mean, look, I think it suggests, along with the fact that we did see
On NQ,
wage
watch
growth, that we're not in any kind of labor market
627.
recession or terrible spot in the labor market. Now, the bad news is we didn't get as much payroll growth as expected, and we only grew
All right.
50,000 jobs.
They're getting to the point of being boring, so we are done with that. But what you need to know is, okay, we're at the closing value on the Qs. So the Qs are currently battling this green to red movement. We kind of went there early. We touched it again at 949, and here we are. So initially, the market didn't know what to do. Then it became apparent that the ruling was not going to be given to us about Trump's tariffs. We popped, and then it quickly gave it back. So a little bit of a Kansas City shuffle, a little bit of razzle-dazzle, if you will, on that one. So I guess we're getting all forms of shaken out today, which is why I'm uniquely happy I did not trade yet today, because I thought today was going to be messy. And thus far, it is nothing but a mess. So let's just be calm, cool. No need to freak out, people. Like, I'm just saying we got to be calm. You don't want to lose your mind because of bullshit price action. All right, we just snapped that target that I just told you when I said watch 27. We just snapped it. That was the overnight trading low that we made at 20:30 o'clock. And then from there, obviously, you could start to watch some of these random wicks. Probably green is not the best color to have for that one. That might be setting the wrong tone. So you might be I'll just tag out these wicks so you can see what's going on. We have 595, 583, and 570. I care the most about 570. Remember, when you exceed these bounds, which is very statistically likely, sometimes buyers do step in right there. So we just bounce from 13 all the way up to 35. Things are getting whippy. They really, really are. So I'm waiting for my opportunity. I would rather just have to do a little scalp trade for the day and not have any quote unquote real trades if just the opportunity is not there. If you caught the breakdown, congrats to you. I didn't catch it because the breakdown itself, well, we were bullish and I don't want to have a bearish trade when we were bullish, and I don't want to count on the break actually happening because sometimes it bounces in my face. So now, if we continue to develop the price structure below all these EMAs, yeah, in the short term, I will switch bearish. I'm completely fine with it. I don't give a fuck about being bullish or bearish. I'm all about making money. But for right now, if you took this sweep right here at 10:05, it's ballsy, but congrats. Have your stop to break even. And if you can catch the sell-off, I hope you do. The reason I'm not chasing it is I've seen it too many times where something like this happens and then we quickly rebound all the way back up to VWAP. So I don't want to chase it down here at 630, 640, 650, 660 when there's a real shot we bounce all the way back up to 700 to 720. That would put me down by 60 points. I don't want to be down by 1.2K because I didn't have the patience to wait for some sort of reversion. So I've seen it too many times. In fact, I actually like these plays better on re-tagging VWAP. So I kind of like the idea of playing 80 back to 700 if we get there. And obviously that's a big if. You might want to see it better on the 1 minute. But yeah, if we break out of 75, 80, something like that, and playing it back up to 700, I kind of like that play a little bit better. Just makes more sense in my brain to do something like that. But anyway, hey, if you chased it to the downside, like I said, best of luck. I'm not rooting against anyone. I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts and opinions on it. And remember, as I said already earlier today, I'm not your mom. I'm not in control of your money. Do whatever you want to do with your money. But like I said, I do like this breakout trade from 80 to 700 with my risk defined at 61. That's how I would play it. Long at 80, targeting 700, 20 points. That's what, $400. And then it's about a 1-to-1 risk to reward. And does it work on this individual play? I have no idea. And you should never really put the onus on like one play. Remember, like that's not how the market works. You're looking at a system that has positive expected value over the long term. So on the one trade, it's about a 50-50 shot. But what you care about is in the long term, are you net ahead? That's the key thing. That is very much the key thing. And honestly, on a movement above 90, I'd probably move my stop to break even back to 80. So I would take all risk off the table. So right there, we took out 90. My stop would be at break even, no risk, and I'd be targeting 700. So I'm either making $400, aka 20 points, which I literally just made. Folks, I literally just gave you that trade all real time. The entry before it happened, I called it out when it happened. I told you what the initial risk was, the upgrade, and then boom, you already made the 20 points, aka $400. So like I said, it's not like there's no model that's going to work all the time. So yeah, this was a good example of it. But I cannot drive this point home enough that the important part of that was not the quick profit target. It was actually the aggressive stop movement. Like that's what you're doing there. So literally called out before it happened, dictated it as it happened, even gave you the risk update, and boom, congrats, $400 for anyone who was using a similar methodology. If you had multiple contracts, of course, you could have targeted VWAP. And if you have a contract past that, yeah, maybe play this reversal. But this is exclusively why I don't chase it to the downside on these initial breaks because I've seen too many reversals back up to VWAP. Yeah, and granted, maybe we fall over and vomit from here. That's totally possible. But just on that initial chase with the assumption being, no, we're going to break and it's going to keep going. Yeah, you can find examples of it, but it's still not necessarily a risk reward that I'm willing to accept because there's too many retests. And from here, I have no idea if it's where it's going. This could easily puke below VWAP. That could happen. This could be kind of a fake out to the downside, back to the upside, and then the actual move happens. But that quote unquote actual move, I don't know which way it's going to be. I have literally no fucking idea what it's going to be. You don't have to know which way it's going to be. It's more of, can you identify a certain trend? Are you looking at options? Are you looking at options? Are you looking at momentum? Are you playing it off of key levels? Where did we bounce? We literally perfectly bounced off the overnight low. That's not some mystical, magical call out. It's literally, do you have eyeballs? Can you see the fact that we bottomed there? Great. Okay. People put their buy order there and we bounced all the way back up. Folks, like we don't need to overcomplicate this. The most complicated thing is finding the discipline in yourself to do exactly what you know you should be doing. But that thing that you know you should be doing is not some sort of like rocket surgery level of intellect. It's basic shit of, can you mark out key levels from technicals, from options, and then do you have the discipline to stick to that trading system you know you should be following by simply just taking minimal risk, high reward trades, or not even that. Like maybe you're a negative risk to reward trader, which is fine because I care about the system. You can be profitable with a 5-to-1 risk to reward or a 0.5 risk to reward. That is all fine. It's more of you, are you consistently following a system where you are always following the exact risk you told yourself you were going to follow? That's how you do it. That is exactly how you win at this game of trading. I get it. There's all these fucktards who are telling you about fair value gaps, inverted fair value gaps, and they're selling you bullshit things that, I don't know, monitor this, that, the other thing. Folks, it's all bullshit. If it was that good, if it was that accurate, show me their hedge fund. Show me their $1 billion. If it was making money all day, every day, and they're so good, why do they care so much about getting $100 from you? Huh? It's because that's not what trading is. That's what good marketing is. That's what deceptive marketing is to make it seem as if they're somehow God's gift to earth at the age of what, like 20? But beyond that, folks, it's not. There's no algorithm that runs the market. There's no perfect model that's going to make you money on every trade. This is a game of law, like the law of large numbers. Many active trades over a period of time with positive expected value, good discipline, good risk management, and you look at it in the net situation. You're never going all in on one. There's no such thing as the end all be all with one individual trade. If you're trading in a situation that is true, that probably means you're oversized and you shouldn't be doing that. Yap. Pull a tarot card, Matt. That is a fair point. The tarot cards are 100% accurate. When Pup was a puppy, I parked at a gas station and bobtailed and Pup hit shift and sideswiped the car. What, Trex? Trex, are you sober? I was inside and he got excited and you're saying you had a dog who knew how to put your car in gear? Dude, it sounds like you're just committing insurance fraud. There's no dog putting your car in gear. Come on, man. All right, is this the fall over? So right here, I'm curious, are we going to plummet all the way back down, or is this just going to be the higher low where we bounced before, and then we actually make that real run to the upside? Once again, I don't know. I can tell you the Mag 7's ripping. People are buying calls like no other. That's interesting. S&P 500, we hit the intraday low, huge pop, pretty much to back where we were. The 5-minute is once again trying to get back bullish. The 10-minute's trying to save itself. The 30-minute did dip below, but it's fighting right now. Nasdaq, same thing. It dipped bearish. It's trying to fight up. 10-minute did dip bearish. It's trying to fight back up. I would love to see if we exceed, 770, 775. Same thing on the 30-minute right here. It wicked below, but didn't actually break. All right, let's mark out that intraday low. And I'm looking for, I guess we can mark out this intraday high break. So I'm either on a larger time scale, I'm looking either for the break of 824 or below 615, looking on this 4-hour chart in the bottom right of your screen. But we are above VWAP. VWAP is about 717. It's looking somewhat decent. Getting a little bit of a pop here. The Mag 7 strong. I didn't realize how strong this pump was. That's interesting. Lots of call buying, especially for, wow, people are playing it for today. This green line are the Mag 7 plays expiring today. They are degenerately buying Mag 7 names today. And it got going a little bit at 10:01, but it really got going at 10:12. Really got going at 10:12. You know what? We have some trader lo-fi music. Let me get that popping in the background. Whoa. All right. Tendies and lo-fi. Chill beats for trading, volume 1. Just a little something to set the mood. To get us all into the proper state. Oh, brother. 717. We're trading at 57. So if it does reverse to VWAP, that's a 50-point movement. But I kind of like this structure because that might just be the higher low right there. Oh, brother. 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 I would actually love a dip to VWAP right now that I could go long into, especially with seeing what's going on with the Mag 7. Would love it. Hey, I'm just a guy in a really lucky Buffalo shirt, but that's what I'm looking at. I'm just a guy in a lucky Buffalo shirt, you know? Just one dude. What do we have here? Oh, I see. Interestingly, the seller's at 90, it seems. So we just popped a little bit. My data, there's buyers down here at 37. Am I blocking this? Sorry. Right here, 737, there's buyers, sellers up here at 90. We did pop a little bit, buyers, kind of just took them out. I'm curious to see which way this skew is actually going to go. Interesting. 37. That's slightly above the recent low that we saw back here. Oh, brother. There's some buyers at 65. What are we doing here? We just took those guys out. I'm curious, does it want to dump to 43 to 37? This is kind of what I'm watching. There are some buyers here at 37. That's interesting. 37. I wouldn't mind taking a one contract stab at that reversion at 37. Let's see. I'm trying to be patient. Why chase it? Oh, maybe it's gonna pop before it. Oh, the sellers at 90 are weakening. They were a little bit more serious, but now I'm actually seeing the buyers step up in size down here at 737. The Boeing 737. IWM's recovering. Google's not doing a whole heck of a lot. Meta's green. Tesla's pumping. Fucking dude, Apple bane my existence. Avago's going. Palantir's popping as well. Tesla's looking strong ever since that first 2 minutes of sell-off. Bit of a runaway train situation. We just got a nice pop on NQ. I missed it. It didn't pull back enough for me. I guess you could have gotten in at like 66. I probably should have done this one here at 43. I was just a little nervous that it was retesting VWAP, and I was like, well, what's the point of getting in at 43 if I could get in at 20? But obviously, sometimes that's the market for you. So we now have almost pumped 200 points. We've gone from 615 to 810. Now we've pumped 200 points. That's how crazy today is. From 1009 to 1022 in a mere 13-ish minutes, we have gone 200 points per NQ contract. That is $4,000. That movement, if you were long, is a gain of 4,000. Of course, if you were short, it's a loss of 4,000. That is fucking something. That is nuts. What a fucking move. What a move. I see some sellers here at 20 and 25. It looks like these guys kind of moved their orders. That was 90. There wasn't much resistance at 800. There's some people selling here at 805, but I see a little bit of a heat map up here, 820, 825. Let's see what they decide to do. Are they going to leave it? Are they going to pull it? Are they going to add to it? It's literally the intraday high. You want to see something really nuts? Check this out. We went from the overnight low. We tagged it here at 10:08. We're about to hit the overnight high. So from 10:08 to, I guess, TBD, maybe about 20 minutes. We're not even, we're at 15 minutes now. Literally, we're running this whole range from the low all the way up to the high. We just took out the intraday high, and now we're looking at the overnight, the extended hours high, which is around 825, which, surprise, surprise, is exactly where people have some of their orders sitting, and you have some people also seemingly front running it a wee bit. Looking at the options movement, Mag 7 very strong ever since 10:11. S&P 500 very strong ever since the intraday low at 10:08. So the delta is popping like no other. People are selling puts, a little bit of call buying now. The Mag 7, it's been nonstop call buying and a little bit of put selling, but a lot of call buying on the Mag 7, specifically for some of the ones that expired today, which tells me it must be Tesla catching a bid and Google catching a bid. We can fact check me on that, though. Yeah, Tesla's catching a bid like no other. Google was catching a bid. Apple, I fucking hate Apple. Meta's starting to catch a bid. Nvidia is not. Tesla's like so evidently the strongest play right now in the Mag 7. Like, look at that. It's just ripping, dude. It's just ripping, dude. It is just ripping. I fear I missed my opportunity. I probably should have gone long closer to 745, but we're now at 810, so 65 points away almost at current price, so it happens. Okay. We are actually testing that major breakout level, 950. Once again, I say it's major because we're right here, the start of this positive gamma area. Next stop, 6975, if this holds. Yesterday, we had the worst time breaking above 25. It was somewhat of an equivalent positive gamma node. Today, maybe it's not going to be as serious. 25, 6925 yesterday was the worst. It was just serious resistance, and there wasn't enough buying aggression to get it above. So 50, like I said, we got knocked there this morning. We just puked to the bottom of the transition zone. It was a green to red test. We found support right there, bounced all the way up. Of course, you could have bought this reversal either at 1010 or 1012. Your risk would have been that low. On this recovery to 37, your stops to break even, and congrats, you get to ride this all the way up. If you guys have been watching the show for any amount of time, you know that I would have been calling that trade out. We've called it out multiple times before. Instead, we just called it out on NQ instead, the 680 to 700 play. And if you have that runner, congrats, because we're trading at 820 and we were talking about going long at 680. So you are up a shitload. You're welcome. This is going like no other right now. Look at that. Tesla's popping. Russell's popping. We're going for it. Remember, the all-time high is 6965 right here. This green dash line just above the top of the transition zone. 6965.69 is the all-time high. So we're about 10 points away, which on the SPY is roughly equivalent to about $1. About $1. I'm curious, how many of you in chat are up thus far in the day? Let's get a W in chat if you're up, or an L in chat if you are currently down. I'm just kind of curious how many of you got tripped up in here versus how many of you caught this explosion to the upside. Would love to hear. Like I said, W in chat if you're currently up on the day, L in chat if you are currently down in the day. I'm just kind of curious about the levels of patience that we found. W, E. Well, E is not a thing. W, L, W, 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 W. I'm not up. Sorry, Egg, W. Oh, so most of you are making money. Big W. W, W, W. Okay, a couple L's. Mr. Boule, W. New all-time high for me. Boston Symphony. Congrats. Crushing it. Barely W. Hey, a W is a W. Green is green. Winning is winning. WL Blue out one, pass one. Hey, that counts. That's a viable strategy. Up 1.2K on the day. Sick. I like it. I like it. All right. So, I mean, we're never going to get to the point of 100% of people, but it does seem as if there's more W's in chat than anything else. So, obviously, a big old congrats to you. Fuck, dude. This is just going. I was talking about going long at 680, and we're at 860. Wow, it didn't even look back, folks. My wife already spent my earnings. We do have some distance to go. All right, I'm setting an alert up for that all time. Dude, I would love to be riding this right now. I just need some sort of pullback. I wouldn't want to pull back to 50, like something. I don't want to just chase it, but it has not really given me any fucking opportunity, man. Like, this is getting degenerate. I hate Apple so much. Hey, this particular week, you and me both, brother. You and me both. Wow. Look at this fucking rip. Okay, bullish. That's bullish. How's the SPY flow looking? That's pretty dang bullish as well. Okay, cool. 1030. Piper just fired. If you are in the Discord, I'm posting it ASAP. What is today? The 9th. Today is the 9th. All right, I'm doing what I can, folks. Doing what I can. Okay, it's in there. Probably not a surprise to you if you're in there of what it is looking at and why it's looking at it. All right, is this the dip that I can maybe get involved with? Maybe. It's not even that much of a dip, though.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, we're taking some long positions to see how this shit goes. Where do we have these players at? 75.
Order submitted.
All right, we're just putting in some like protective stops and whatnot. I'm looking at 75 from there. I assume if we break 75, players will start to step in at 900. That's just an assumption, but we'll revert to this and see how it actually plays out in real time. Let's see. Let's see. I'm watching 75. Like I said, I am long. I want to, obviously, as quickly as I can. You know what I'll do is I'll probably make it a riskless trade if we take out 75. So if we can take out this sell side liquidity here at 75, maybe 78, I'll just make it a freebie play. I'll make it a freebie play. And come on, take him out. Here's a look at Mag 7. Big pop going flat right now. SPY is actually picking up. Important to note, 65 area. So I'm looking at this little upside right here, and then I'm expecting some potential profit taking at the all-time high. Oh, brother. How do I want to do this? I wish I had an entry just below 850, because then I feel like I'd be a little bit more protected by it. You know, let's just give this a breather. Let's not get too crazy. I'm intentionally not trading with size today. I'm just trading one contract on these accounts. Once again, long at 54 and 59. So long NQ is the position. I'm trading them separately, intentionally. Actually, because I'm doing that, what is this? This is 75. Let's see if we take this player out. Okay, interesting. We tagged that person. That's 42. Am I still on the proper side of the screen? Okay, yeah, I am. I just didn't want to make sure I was blocking any of this stuff. We took that out, but not much follow through at the moment. Let's see. Let's see who's who and what is what. Mag 7 flow is still strong. SPY flow is still strong. SPY is up there, but we haven't hit that high quite yet. You know what I'm going to do is go to the 5 minute just so that things are a little bit more clear, a little bit more evident. A little bit more clear, a little bit more evident. So we did sweep that. We got up to 79. So that sell side liquidity was at 75. I see some buyers here at 42. I'm hoping we don't have to even mess with them. I just want to see this rip back up to 80, 90. And as I predicted, I'm looking at some of these people at 900. But let's see what really happens today. Let's see what really happens today. All right, a little bit of a pop. Some here at 71. I'm now watching kind of this 80 level, which is pretty much the top that we just hit back here. Buyers at 842 and 830, but we saw that before and they weren't even tested. We just ripped from it. Price is definitely slowing down a little bit now after that big expansive move to the upside, getting a little choppy sideways. Don't you guys just feel so much more calm with this lo-fi music? And once I actually properly manage this trade, we will be doing the Payday Friday. I know it's 10:30 right now. I just happen to be in the middle of this position. So upon me properly managing it, even if I could get these stops into break even, then we could run the Payday Friday. But if you have yet to enter the Payday Friday, it is free, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, or go to my Twitter/X account, Matt_Kohrs, KOHRS. And then all you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. So it is free. And as soon as you do that, you will be in the drawing. Once again, like, retweet, and follow. Or you could just find the link. It's pinned to the top of chat. Just find that, or my mod will drop it in chat, and Nightbot's dropping it in chat, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. What do I want to see? That flow is good. That flow, I mean, the Bulls are in control. This is currently the Bulls' game to lose, in my humble opinion. It's definitely the Bulls' game to lose. All right, are we going to this 42, Phil? Go into this. What was that? The other one was 30. Let's see. Let's see if we have some dip buyers right here. Somewhere between 42 and 30. What do we have going on? They were there, then we popped a little, and they moved them up, and then they got taken out. The point of control is 840. You have this at 830. A little confusing, if I do say so myself. If I do say so myself, but hey, let's see how it plays out. Once again, point of control is 840, and then these buyers down here, just in case you can't see it, is 830. We have slim resistance at a little bit at 58, a little bit at 71. But we're just kind of given, the last swing low was 31, which is probably why people are targeting this level right here. They're targeting the exact little swing low on an intraday basis. On the old intraday basis. Oh, do I want to add a position? If I do, the real question is, what would the risk be and how do I minimize said risk? Am I willing to accept it? Because that is basically forever the question. But really, we're just kind of grinding sideways right now. We're not really doing, we took a little bit of a hit right there, but overall, we dipped, we popped, we're kind of giving it back. I suppose you could say that was pretty serious resistance at 670 level. Interesting that we overshot it by about 10 points, but a little bit of a pop here at POC. We dipped exactly here before at 830, which those players have held that position this entire time, as in those orders. So as soon as we broke through, like literally as soon as we broke through, sell side orders came in at 830, and we kind of dipped, and we seem to be revisiting it at the moment. Seem to be. All right. The name of the game. All right, we just took out that 30. There's less at 15. What in the world are we doing? Oh, giving this a second to breathe. The 500 tick is showing a bit of weakness, but the 1 minute is actually still decently strong. That's what happens when you have such an expansive move to the upside without any fucking breaks. Oh, brother. Oh, mother, oh, brother. I really don't mind a dip buy in here. I just want to do it at the right time. Actually, all right, let me pull these profit orders because I don't need those, obviously, at the moment because we are not trending in the right way. I want to decide what I would need to see for me to try to buy this dip. Do I just do it right off of 800? I mean, that is the psychological level. Do we see... There is people here at like 805, 800, 810, that type of a vibe. Oh. It's not my fucking worst idea ever. It's not my worst. Not necessarily my best idea. But it's also definitely not my worst. Are buyers going to step in at 800? That's the golden question right now. We're at a psychological level. We're trading at 804, 806. If I see some buyers step in, I might join this party trying to... if there is a bounce off of 800, I don't mind it because it makes sense to me. Psychological level, yada, yada, yada type of a deal. I'm just not seeing any buyers step in quite yet. Quite yet. All right, they popped it to 815. There were some buyers there for a second right here. Point of control is up there at 840. Oop, it was a little bit of a fake out. We went from 800 up to 817, back down to 800 like it was nothing. Oh, is this returning? Is this returning? I'm still not seeing it. I saw a little flash of buyers, but it was very, very short-lived. So once again, I'm willing to buy at 800. It's just buyers did not step in, and we're still very aggressively trending down. But I see some buyers here now. Now, are they actually gonna get hit, or what's their deal today? I see some strong buyers, I suppose, at 75. Wow, this is it was straight line up, straight line down, folks. Straight line up, straight line down. I guess gravity's currently winning out on this one. What goes up must come down. What goes up must come down. And it's still dipping. We're taking this guy out right now. That's 775. Okay. And then they got taken out even more. That was 10. Holy shit. VWAP. Now we're almost maybe potentially talking about VWAP again at 740. What the fuck, dude? We are at the 1 minute 50 EMA. Wow. Getting beat up. We've given back about roughly half. Roughly half. Yeah. I'm still just not seeing that consistent buying. There's like these little spurts, but nothing to even change the shortest trend quite yet. And I'm maybe here.
Order filled.
I'm seeing some hit the tape. I'm doing the best to read this. They're just not there yet. I guess you could say the selling aggression has kind of slowed down. Here, let's go back to this. This might be an easier way to kind of see.
Order filled.
Oh, brother.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
All right, I'm putting in some like stop management stuff at this point. Because why not be a little bit safer? I see some sellers up here at 811 that I would love to see if the buyers can take that out. I'm really actually watching this, the 1 minute on NQ. Hang on, let me get rid of this. This might be a little confusing. But I'm looking to see if this is a little fake out breakdown and we can come back up to 825, the overnight high. But let's see. Let's see. I'm watching this. The 1 minute broke, ripped. We're pulling back. This is kind of pretty decisive to me, if you will. Pretty decisive. One of these, the bigger accounts with buffer, obviously I have quite a bit more leniency on what I can and can't do, but what I'm really focused on is the accounts with less buffer, because they are currently under some pain. I was a little too slow to get out of what I needed to. Hang on, this music.
Order canceled.
All right, let me do better risk management is my current goal. So I'm canceling some orders, moving some up. Once again, I just want to be mindful of a potential snap. Trying to be a good boy today. Dude, the buyers were there for a second, but it was a brief second to say the least. A brief second. Should I be even more aggressive? I feel like every time I say that, I feel like the answer is yeah. So just aggressive. What is that low? 60. Oh, I'm watching it. Watching it like a hawk. Watching it like a hawk. What was that? 94. Okay, so I'm kind of just looking at this point for the recapture of 800 up here. I do see some buyers at 50. Let's see. Yeah, 800 is kind of my line in the sand right now. Let's see. I see people at 815 now. Not many at 800, oddly enough. Oddly enough. All right. When in doubt, improve your risk management. That's what I'm doing this whole thing. I'm trying to catch this dip if I can, but you never know if the dip's over or not. So that's what I'm doing my best to say, like, okay, like, am I right or am I wrong? We're testing 800. Watch for this breakout of 815. Right here, like I said, I'm waiting for this 1 minute. I want to see 25. This level is where we broke at 10:26 this morning. It also happens to be the overnight trading session high. So I'm looking to see if people react to it. As of this moment, people were seemingly front running it at 8:15, and then they walked it down to 8:05 and then even 8:02. Don't like that. Am not a fan of that. Come on, take these fuckers out. Good. All right. They were at 8:15, so I'm curious if they're going to return, but really 8:25. Nothing on Bookmap quite yet, but I am seeing just like this potential technical resistance. So kind of watching that. And actually a nice return would be all the way up to like 40, 45. A nice return would be up to 40, 45. I'm really trying to do these full break-even moves, but like I don't know if I can we didn't hold 800. I was gonna say, like, I was thinking on 825, and then I was like, you know what, fuck it, it's Friday, let's be even more aggressive about it. So I was gonna say, even if we hold 800, I'll do these stops to break even, but we're not, unfortunately, even holding that quite yet at this moment in time. Oh, fuck, we're really not. A little pop-up. So right now, it's just indecisive. We sold up, we popped up, we dropped, we popped up, we dropped. We just have to wait for this break one way or the other. I'm hoping it breaks to the upside, and I think maybe the market really wants to test this 65-ish level, but who knows when. It could be a really messy path there. And of course, it might not happen at all. The SPX, there was this flow alert back at, like, this is what's been messing it up. Starting at 1038, just put buying, call selling. It's just the trend, the option trend on the day took a clear change. From 1008 to 1028, we had one thing. And then starting at 1038 to 1046. So 10 minutes up, a little bit of choppiness, and then just 10 minutes of straight down. And that is the current purgatory we are dealing with, folks. The current purgatory we are dealing with. While on the flip side, the Mag 7 strong, which is making me optimistic that at some point today we get that recovery, but that some point doesn't necessarily have to be now. I'm seeing strength in Tesla. Google was the other pretty decent play of the day. Google, it is still looking good. Where's Nvidia? Not really doing much, not helping but not hurting. Microsoft, choppy. Apple, not really. Yeah, so Tesla. Fuck. Which way is this gonna break? VWAP is at 741 on NQ. We're trading at 775, so that's about 30-ish points, 35-ish points, depending on when you look at your chart. Oh, are buyers stepping in or not? I just keep coming back to this chart right here. What are we doing? What in the world are we doing? What in the world? We have a little bit of this structure, lower highs, higher lows. We're seemingly pressing on the bottom of it at the moment. Dude, it just keeps I don't know. It needs to make this decision soon. I don't know if these big players are going to buy this and pop it up or if they're going to reject it, but that's what there are buyers at 50. Oh, there's some buying coming in, but like I said, to me, it doesn't mean much. I get a little excited if it can hold 800, but it's 825 really from a technical perspective. And every single time we see a little bit of buying, it just unfortunately doesn't last long. We're just we're just in this purgatory ever since 1044. So we're just kind of waiting. Maybe it just saved it. I don't know. 92, at least we're recovering the 1 minute 50 EMA, but 800's better. Like I said, I'm waiting for 825. I suppose 808 is a pretty interesting breakout right here. That could be interesting because it is pushing a new high off a higher low, maybe setting up 25. So I would like above 808. I get excited for the bullish opportunity above 25 though. Come on. Come on. There are people selling it right at that recent high right here, 810. That high was 808. Fuck, right there, dude. Every time we try to show a little bit of life. SPY is actually at the lowest delta reading of the day. It's just now call selling ever since 1038. This is so perfect linearly and robotic. This might be some weird roll position. They had to roll this and rolling this. It's just almost like too perfect. So maybe we have to wait for that to end. The Mag 7 is holding fine, which is still making me it's making me cautiously optimistic. The fact that the Mag 7 delta flow, even the 0 DT is seemingly holding. But the bane of the existence is this region between 800 and 825. We're just not getting the follow through. Big buyers down at 750. VWAP is 742. Come on. We're just having a heck of a time getting above this. Purgatory. Purgatory, purgatory, purgatory. Come on, take it out, you fucker. Take it out, you fucker. Okay, we're at 800. Once again, have you heard this story before? The Battle of 800? We're battling it out. 808 gets interesting. 800 gets interesting. 808 gets more interesting. The breakout's at 25. And I need to keep updating my risk to take risk off the table. I layered into this drop. I took an initial long. I guess I was a little bit impatient. I was able to lower my average by quite a bit. And on a little bit pop here, I should be where I need to be. And then that's when I'm going to start doing, like, I'm already doing some aggressive risk management, but that's when I'll do hyper aggressive risk management. But I'm first watching the 825 level right here where my cursor is up top. And then the point of control is 840, which would be my reach target past it, I suppose. There we go. We took out 808, as I was saying. Great, 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 great.
Order
Bada
filled.
bing, bada boom. We're doing risk management, locking in some contracts on that, lowering my average. All right. I like it when a plan starts to work, folks. I like it when a plan starts to work. All right. Let's
Order
move
submitted.
the stop up. Let's be reasonable. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. All right. Watch 830. Watch 840. Come on. Let's see. Looks like 830, 840, and then even seemingly 850 has some sellers. Looking at the map, this might just be that higher low. Let's see if it can expand from there. 5-minute potential bounce off the EMA. 10-minute just a pullback, but we did take out that high. I like to see that. 30-minute, nothing really too crazy to note there. Nasdaq 5-minute pullback, starting to bounce. 10-minute reversal. 30-minute, not much. I'll mark out the current highs. Seemingly finding support at that 50% of the chop zone here at 40. Support. The 1 minute, it was bullish. It broke bearish. We are not out of the woods because it is trying to go bullish, but I do want to point out how there's like serious resistance just ahead at 950. 950 is something that we've been calling out all day, watching all day. It is still a very serious positive gamma node. So if you're watching this, that's the breakout. And then from there, if you're taking that on SPX, you probably care about 55 past that. This like choppy fucking mess in here. As for me, I fucked up my FFN account, so that's sad, those evals, but fuck my life. But everything else is looking decent thus far. As you can see, I have my stops at fills. I'm managing these accounts separately, which is why they have different trades on. But thus far in the green.
Order
All right,
submitted.
I am not doing what I need to be doing, so I'm going to dump one here. Lock in $500 on these accounts. Like I said, I'm trading them in two separate styles. So hopefully I can lock in on that real quick. Come on, lock it in, motherfucker. Lock it in. Lock it in. Dude. Come on.
Order
All
filled.
right, nice. We'll move that up to 24. Cool. We locked that in. Looking good. Looking good. What is this? 880. How do I want to handle this? How do I want to handle? Okay, so what was this high over here? 79. 79. Oh, lot of sellers at 55. Okay, so that's obviously the clear level to break right now, 55. So I'm happy I locked in one at 50, just in terms of I wanted to lower my risk on the day. Interesting. So those... Oh, I've made a couple small management issues, but not the end of the world type of stuff. Not the end of the world. Like I said, I am trading them separately. So if this one gets knocked here, I'll be up on the big accounts. I'll be up 500 on the day, which I'm fine with. They're up 500. Do I want to have the risk at 800? That retest? I could do this and whatever. Like the worst, if I leave it here, the worst case situation is my accounts are just break even, because right there, 12 points, that'll bring me positive. So like whatever. What I'm watching is these quote unquote smaller accounts and how I want to play those. They're up 400 right now. So let's target 74. I'm looking at this high at 79. Before, people were targeting 75. So I'm thinking front running it by 1 point. Once again, that's for these bottom 5 accounts. But then for these top ones, how do I want to handle that? I suppose for now I could throw it in.
Order submitted.
I'm not the most interested in like watching my screen all day today, so I wouldn't mind if that just hits. I could honestly call it a day there. I feel like I need to upgrade the risk management here. That's $500. So if I put the stop at 15, that is slightly break even on the day. Okay, that's exactly for me being green on the day. I need to get a stop in on these. Maybe I don't. Maybe if it just rips straight to 74, we'll be good. All right. As soon as I get out of these, we'll finally be able to do Payday Friday. Just so you guys know, you still have time to enter. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, or just go to my pinned tweet on my Twitter page right here. Matt_Kohrs, Kohrs. Like I said, it's my pinned tweet. You will be entered. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. We're giving away 10 prop accounts, 5 from FFN, 50% discount, buy one, get one, no activation fee with that code Goonie. Vanquish, FFN is for futures, Vanquish is for options, code Goonie, 25% off, 1 free reset, and obviously no activation fee. So code Goonie will work on both. Shout out to both of those guys for sponsoring today's giveaway. On top of that, I will be doing $150 of cold hard cash to the fastest marble racer in all the land. All you have to do to enter is like, retweet, and follow, and you will be entered. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, and we are going to be running that as soon as I somehow manage this position. As somehow I manage this position. Come on. Come on. I'm happy with my risk management. It was a little bit questionable there. That's a lesson on me. I think I was a little bit too chasey. Kind of felt like I chased it at the worst time. But hey, sometimes that's just the variance of the market. Sometimes that's just the variance of the market. What else do we have on tendies and tunes? Toby Kohrs, After Hours.
Way too young to trust a broker in a shiny suit.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Get your lighters out. you know?
Off a meme stock scheme. Lost my rent on a candle that faked me out. That's when adulthood punched me straight in the mouth. We were broke, cocky drunk on opium highs, living fast, blowing cash, telling ourselves lies down by the after hours, learning life the hard way. Green candles feel better when they don't stay. Shorts get squeezed and so do we. Nothing humbles you quicker than IV. Yeah, we YOLO too hard, now we cope loosely.
Bada bing, bada boom, people. Fucking nailed it.
Futures at 4 a.m. Heart racing faster than my
Order
overdraft again. Thought I'd quit my job by Friday close. By Monday morning I was selling clothes. Broker app sweating like a bad alibi.
Quick little, what, 27K there? Done. Done. Down by the after hours, learning who you are when your net worth's lower than the bar. From bull to bear in a single tweet, that's the kind of whiplash that'll knock your teeth. Yeah, we still chase green like it's destiny, 'cause hope trades heavy in the after hours. Still here. Still clicking, still dumb enough to try, 'cause tomorrow's always different, right? Oh, fuck yeah. Well, all right, hang on. Let me pause that for 1 second before we do this Payday Friday giveaway. You can see on the larger 15 accounts, 87K all the way down to 85K, 1.5K each. That's 15 accounts. That's about $22,000. And then another 5K on the quote unquote smaller accounts that are all sitting at 54K. And that is going to bring me to $27,000 net on the day. So I did lose these evals. I was in the second phase of FFN, which I'm now finding out awkwardly has like 2.5 phases. So I just didn't know it because I didn't read the emails, but whatever. So I did lose a little bit of evals, but in terms of the fully funded accounts that I can take money out of, well, folks, as long as I like literally have the discipline to not trade for the remainder of the day, these top 15 accounts, I'll be able to take out 2K from each on all 15. So it's a $30,000 payout request for me and hopefully a $30,000 payday for me. So as soon as the market closes, the top 15 accounts, I'm requesting 2K out again, and we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I'll keep you guys updated on either the approval, the denial. I don't have any reason to think that it'd get denied, but hey, we're gonna be finding out. So that is actually a new account high for all of these. So that's kind of exciting. There is a little bit of disparity. Some are already all the way up at 87.7 and the lowest one is at 85.1. So that's, wow, $2,600 worth of disparity. That's a whole payout of disparity. Some are at 8.6. It feels like because of slippage, most of these should be in the high 8.5s, the low 8.6s, but some are benefited from it and some are a little bit worse off. So I guess that just, it is what it is sometimes. But hey, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm seeing green. It's a Friday. It's a Payday Friday. And on a day like this, I'm more than happy to be locking in some of that green. All right. So with that being said, now that I've made my money, that means I could give some of it away to you guys. So let's get rocking with this Payday Friday. Let me get the game up and going. Games, view games library, marbles. Okay. We got marbles. All right. So that's booting up. I think it's booting up. After hours. All right, we got that. All right, cool. So Marbles is ready. What I need to do is Twitter picker. All right, the X Twitter picker. All right, let's get the actual one. Let's find out who our contestants are today. Close pop-up and retweet winner 10. Must follow Matt _ Kohrs. What is this one? A description, a location. I don't know how add custom ratio older. Well, yeah, whatever. Okay. So here's how it's going to go. I'm picking all 10 right now. The first person's getting an FFN account. The second person is getting a Vanquish account. The third person's getting an FFN account. The fourth person's getting a Vanquish account. In the 10 people selected right now, it's going to go every other one. The odd numbers are getting the futures account. The even numbers are getting the options account from Vanquish. So please put your hands together. We are rocking in 3, 2, 1. We are searching. Who is it? Ford, Performance, Shiv, Cruz, Thega, Strumer, S-Rod, Enki Forex, Jasp, Standing Up Red, J-Words, and Weirdo Unit. All right. Well, hang on. I'm going to just quickly screenshot this so I don't lose them. So I don't have to come back and find all of the winners. But congrats. If you see your name there right now, you've already won something. So I will be reaching out to you later today, just so you know. In the meantime, I'm going to move this over here just so I can get all of the competitors. So we will be racing on, looks like, what's the name of this? Oh, endurance test. So it sounds like it's going to be a long one. We're going to do 10. Let me do this. Okay. So, all right. So we need 10. All right. So the first one was Ford Performance. The next one was Shiv. Watch out for him in the race. Cruz. Strumar. I don't want to spell that wrong. S-Rod, he's probably freaking out right now, painting some stuff. We have Enki Forex. We have Jasp. We have Red. We have Jed Wards. And we have Weirdo. Oh. Weirdo. All right, those are our competitors. All right, let's get this rocking. Let's get this booted up. All right, and let's find some music. Remember, all the music we listen to, it's on Tendies and Tunes. It's its own standalone channel, but we do give it away from free. So feel free to check that out. Playlist. Let's go to hype. Let's get a good hype one going. All right, that's going to be a good one. All right. Ladies and gentlemen and everything in between, please join me in standing up so you can catch the best view of the fastest racers in all the land. As many of you know, these racers have gone through the gauntlet of physical, mental, emotional, and dare I say it, spiritual challenges to be here in this championship round. Not only is it winner take all, not only is it an eternal bragging rights, but it is also $150 cold hard cash to the first finisher. No rules. It is prison rules. All that matters is getting to that finish line. Everything in between, it is allowed, it is accepted, it is encouraged. So before we have these racers really hit the streets, who do you think's going to win? We are here on a trading, gambling, financial show. Who do you think has that inner perseverance, that grit, that dog in them to win this. If you had to put your life savings on the line, who would you be picking? Who would you really be saddling up with at this moment to really bring you to the finish line? I'm seeing some people go for Ford. I'm seeing some people going for Shiv. I'm seeing some people go for Weirdo. All right. Well, now that all of your bets are in, please get ready because we are going in 3, 2, 1. And we are off. All right, who's getting the first drop? Forex, Weirdo, Shiv, leading the race. Let's watch this funnel drop. Strumar, S-Rod, Jed, Ford, Shiv, Red, Weirdo, Jas. All right, S-Rod and Jed are looking for the first drop. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Jed. Jed is, followed by S-Rod, followed by Forex. All right, it is S-Rod and Jed in the lead, taking the right path as Forex is taking the left path. All right, 1 and 2 are on the screen right now, and number 3 is in the distance, but Cruz is cruising along in fourth. Here we go. Jed and S-Rod battling it out once again, opting for the right path, followed in pursuit by Forex. Jed going through the snake swirling path to wherever the fuck this is. Whoa, Forex taking a shortcut, if you will. Shooting ahead, very rapidly passing Jed and S-Rod, but not for long. Jed is about to take the lead. Nope, Forex leading at the turn, but will he be able to get through this turnstile obstacle? Oh my God, like butter, folks. Like nothing, just slice through it. Hot butter, hot knife, hot wife. Oh, Jesus. All right, Forex currently leading the race, but Weirdo is right there. So we are seeing a little bit of shuffling in position right now. We are going through a nausea-inducing turnstile. Forex coming out. How will he do with this little bumpity bump, bump, bump? All right, Forex, like the first one, ooh, but still did well. Ran into it, but not really having the biggest issue with anything. Weirdo is not far behind. Forex getting through every turnstile. Literally not having an issue with any part of this race. Forex is about to get it. Weirdo, where are you? Folks, like butter. That was a championship run. Dude, that was dogged determination. That was just straight going for it. Didn't even stop him. Nothing. Second, Weirdo. Third, Jed. 4, Strumer. 5th, Ford. 6th, S-Rod. 7th, Shiv. Who's going to get last? It's between Red and Jasf. Jas, you finishing? Maybe? There, finally. All right. Forex, you are the champion. Everyone, please put your hands together. For all the competitors, but especially Forex. What a performance. What a performance. Folks, if you happen to be in the race, I will be reaching out to you today, and especially you, Forex, I'll be reaching out to you to get your PayPal information so I can send you that money. And then obviously for everyone else, including Forex, you're going to be getting one of the free prop accounts depending on where you were in the list. And obviously I'll be getting you those codes and that information today. So wow, quite a bit of excitement as we are also in the market gearing up for almost a new all-time high. For me, I already have enough exposure to it. I got my 27K locked in. Very happy about that. I don't really feel like trading for the remainder of the day because as long as I don't blow out my account, I get to request from the big 15. So 15 times 2K, another $30,000. So I'll be doing that after the market closes today. So your boy might be calling it here. So for me, I honestly might be calling it an early weekend. I wish Apple would bounce back, but it is the bane of my existence. While all these other things are actually looking pretty decent, it's just fucking Apple. I hate Apple. Remind me to never trade Apple again, please. Like, I really just, I don't even know why I even bother. It's just the dumbest stock. It's so stupid. Anyway, before I let you go, if you want an FFN account, use that code Goonie. 50% off, buy one, get one, no activation fee, as in you could get 2 evals for a total cost of $75, and there is no activation fee. And then on Vanquish, code Goonie will get you 25% off. If you end up not passing, you get a free reset. So that's like 25% off and then another 50% off. And there's also no activation fee. Vanquish is good for options. FFN is good for futures. Just before I let you go, just to show you Mag 7 still very strong. The SPY is all over the map today. Actually, it just took a pretty serious hit, but price actually held up pretty well. Interesting. So overall, I'm bullish. Price structure, momentum is bullish. Options flow is choppy, but it's choppy favoring the bulls in a certain sense. So that's pretty much what I have for you. I wish you the best of luck. I hope you make a buttload of money, and whatever you do, respect your risk. And hey, when it goes a bit in your favor, why not set that stop to break even? Folks, that's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes today. I appreciate all the good vibes this week. I hope you have a phenomenal weekend. We'll be posting a market update video Sunday evening, so make sure your notifications are on. And then we'll be streaming once again Monday morning, 9 a.m., bright and early. I hope to see you then. Thank you so much. I'll catch you later. Peace.